children our future. Teach them and let them lead the way.
Let's do it.
Oh shit! Show them all the. Yo, episode 15. You supposed to say episode 15.
15. 1-5.
And Q gonna be like Q.
XV.
Oh man, episode 15. Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick though, I was checking out all of our episodes, like from 1 to like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have some really dope conversations, man.
I think so. I agree.
Like not for nothing, like I really enjoyed the conversations. Like the funniest, the thing that stood out to me, not funny, but when you and Raine got at it on Cardi B, like love and hip hop shit. It was like the episode 3, I think.
It was on Cardi B?
Yeah, about how
we don't get at it no more.
Yeah.
Carnegie.
Yeah,
What's
that's
up with
whack.
that?
That's whack.
You stop disagreeing. You don't disagree no more.
You don't blame me. How you blame me?
Because you ain't bringing the topics no more.
I bring the topics.
That's creating,
Well, today's
No, you
topic,
know what it be.
I plan on really cooking you on today's topic.
Cooking
So
me?
let's get it.
Cooking me,
Yes.
Because
Because right now, I be cooking y'all. I'm sorry. I'm talking my shit. I be cooking y'all.
Hey,
Stephen A. Smith, right? I guess
Yeah.
me Max Kellerman. I guess me Max Kellerman.
We be cooking y'all.
I'd rather.
How about that?
I'd rather. Hey,
And
listen,
you, today's
LP
topic, I'm definitely cooking
How
y'all.
you cooking me?
Yo, I don't even know what it was. I looked and then I seen 43 text messages one time, and I was like, bruh, I can't.
What?
Do it. Like I had to go. Like I didn't even see.
On what?
I was on.
Yeah, was it last night or the night before?
Oh,
Yeah.
on the Cardi B
On
and
the-
Offset.
Yo, I was at the barber shop. I was,
Was I not cooking him, Q?
Yes, you were.
I was cooking him.
Yes, you were.
And when I say cooking, I'm only saying because I like to debate, right? But I
like to
believe in
debate, too.
you're right. But debates, though, debating 1-on-1, you have to prove what you're saying.
I know.
And you dismissed the topic like I don't have to. Only you think that. It's not only me who thinks that. So I
No,
can't
I
wait
was-
today to like cook you.
We
on the
weren't
topic.
debating. I was talking about like I forgot, but it wasn't mean. It was.
But it's gonna come up in today's topic, right? It's a pop culture topic of the week, and we can debate. And I want you to prove what you were saying.
Yeah, I
Because
don't even know
honestly,
what the points.
a lot of times when I'm going back and forth, right, I'm
Yeah.
looking to be educated. I'm not looking to prove you wrong. I'm looking for you to tell me what I'm not seeing.
But-
And
go
you
ahead.
said that in that whole situation that you felt that it was disingenuous.
We
And
can
so
s-
all I asked you to do was prove
we can
it.
start off with that.
Let's start it. Let's go.
I mean, so
Oh, what that the video? He
yeah, the
really
Offset
Let's talk
public
about it, yeah.
apology, right?
Uh-huh.
So, honest,
I'm on fire. Let's go.
she's on fire.
give
So
the people-
all I said
give
was,
the people who might not pay attention to pop culture some context.
Right.
so apparently Offset, and you can just fill in the holes as I'm speaking of this issue. Apparently Offset cheated on Cardi B, and it was like this big public thing. And she went on social media and said that they were no longer together. They grew apart, some crap like that.
I saw that.
And then he goes on, and then he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's one say. Cardi B, you know, culture. Kept doing this, you know what I'm saying? Checking his peach fuzz. I want
See,
you
this
back.
is the stuff
you
that
know
men
what I'm
have to
saying?
deal with, man. Because it's only
So-
men really clowning it.
So I'm not clowning it at all.
This is clowning it.
I just think that something like that he should have did in-house. And I think it was more or less about him rather than about the person that it should be about, which is Cardi B.
How is it about him
Because
if he took
he's
the
going
time
on
to go public?
Exactly. Why go public? I think that's corny in itself. Going public with it. Going public with it, and it just takes away from the actual thing that's going on at hand. Whereas he is accused of cheating, you trying to get your woman back, do that.
Yeah,
When
I
it's
don't
just y'all
understand.
two. I don't understand doing it online.
This
What's
is this
the
is where
purpose?
where you both are gonna lose your women in the future. Okay.
Oh, so I
Because-
need to go on IG and win her back.
Because you're not you're not in the public eye, and so this is the whole thing. It's also a matter of principle. Me personally, I'm a person of principle, right? Regardless of a man woman thing. You disrespected me publicly. You apologized to me publicly. I'm actually in a situation like that right now as we speak, with someone violated on social media. You know, I'm being real with y'all. Someone violated on social media, and It is what it is. We exchanged words, but I'm not letting it go. And so I told him, it was a dude. I said, you have to apologize publicly because you violated me on someone else's post, right? And but he chose not to apologize at all because he didn't want to apologize to the public. It's just a rule of thumb. You disrespect someone, if they're going to eat it, you disrespect someone in public, in front of people. If I'm supposed to eat it, then you have to apologize in front of people. That's just how that goes.
Did he do it in front of people, though? Or is it like the third parties that brought the shit to the forefront
They are public
of like
figures.
the media? But I still don't think that you got to carry out all your private shit in front of
don't. Keep
cameras.
that shit
like,
I think
Y'all-
because
y'all-
they set the
y'all got it
tone.
twisted.
it wasn't like
Because
on a TV show like Love and Hip Hop. He's out
She
Yeah,
was
with some
embarrassed
savage or
in
something
the world,
like
to
that.
the world. To the
actually-
world, it was embarrassing.
And I get that.
And she
but
started out like on Love and Hip Hop, right? To be real. And she started off as a very public figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so she might have set the tone for it. However, like the person that I guess he chose to do whatever he did, with, that person was a public enough figure where like it probably warranted like a public apology. It would be different if like all of this shit was happening behind the scenes and then he came out and decided to like.
And it would have been different had he not went public, had he not been on FaceTime with a girl who's in the same circle,
Yep.
had there not been a video of that. All of it was public.
Yep.
When he violated, the disrespect was public. She recorded him on FaceTime. That is the issue. So
Okay.
she could have easily ignored it or not have or dealt with it behind closed doors had it not went outside. And so
But it was public.
it was public. And this
So,
is what I'm
like-
trying to say. Most women are actually speaking to, it's not so much about, his sincerity is point two that you're making. But the first point about public, you really can't get that. Most women are even acknowledging the fact that most men, and this is where you guys are making me see that, a lot of men have a problem with that. And I'm like, this is why you're not really keeping, like, if you don't get that principle, this is why you're not really keeping
I
your
don't really
sustaining
agree
your
with that.
relationship.
Problem
I don't
with it,
see
I
that.
just didn't
Yeah.
think
Because
it added
men,
no,
women
like-
as a whole are respecting the fact. I made a thing about it, and so many women, that is their reaction. He disrespected her publicly. He apologized publicly. He gets kudos for that. No, you think he didn't reach out to her a gazillion times behind closed doors?
He probably
You
did.
can't believe that. You can't believe that this is the first time he's saying sorry. I know you don't think that.
Let me ask you
Oh,
guys
I
a
don't-
question.
oh.
Did you guys realize that he violated like on FaceTime on whatever live? Did y'all realize that he violated her live?
Did
Or
y'all realize
publicly?
that?
So wait, he was doing Instagram live and then the girl came in and he was
No,
talking
that he
to
was
her on
FaceTiming her and she
and the
recorded
girl
him.
recorded it at the same time. He didn't
That
put
went-
that out.
so
That's
like
not
that.
the point.
what?
He's
You
responsible
got
for that, and
caught.
you're
No.
married to someone.
Let's say roles are reversed. We do this podcast. I'm a musician, whatever. I get to the level where something in my private life gets brought out to the public. I don't want my woman to do that on social media, regardless whether you right, wrong. Like I don't care.
No,
I'm
that's
trying
fair,
to
but
limit,
she
Your
probably,
woman
I'm
is
trying
but
to
she
limit
probably
my
would be.
shit being in the public as much as possible.
If
You know what I'm
your
saying? Like I want my
disrespect
music.
of
I
your
don't want-
woman goes public.
No, I'm talking about if it was the other way around. Like, let's say she did
You,
something
I'm
to Warren.
saying
I wouldn't
you.
want her to then go on Facebook and then put an apology video. Like, I really don't give a fuck about that. Like, that gives you no extra
It's not the
points to
same
me.
thing though.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put myself
and that's
in
real,
the
and
shoes
but
of
that,
like
and that could
would
be
get no
This
points
is
for
not
me.
that-
that's real,
though.
but that could be you, right? Like it's very, very clear that they live their lives out in the public arena. So it's very.
But
It's
that's the
also
only reason
like
we
it doesn't
care.
surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that
No,
like
we
she
only
makes it.
care because his infidelity went public.
No, but what I'm saying
His
is the only reason why we
infidelity went
care
public
about the
more than once,
infidelity is
though.
because they're public figures. So like
No.
saying that it's kind of like
No, we care about it
if
because
somebody
he-
else doesn't. Mad people got
No,
cheated on this
he-
week, but we don't
no,
know about it.
His infidelity went public a gazillion times. And this particular time, he was caught on camera entertaining another woman outside of his wife.
And-
And it's only feasible that he publicly apologized because he publicly did disrespect to her.
And
Yes,
oftentimes,
y'all.
I think what men don't recognize is that, like, one of the things that, like, okay, so you have a gamut of things that you're pissed off at about a particular situation, right? You're in a situation where there's infidelity, and like you're pissed off because you're embarrassed. You're pissed off because the person lied. You're pissed off for various reasons.
Yeah.
But embarrassment carries a lot of weight because, like, oftentimes, like, people determine which of those things they can get over. But if it is that, like, you can combat that embarrassment by like publicly acknowledging that I fucked up, and to everyone who saw that you were embarrassed, that does go a long way for some people, particularly someone like Cardi who lives her life like publicly. So like to say that it's corny like takes away from the personal aspect of like who this guy is trying, like he's trying to do something different. Like I don't say like. Would that is that something that would particularly impress like the people that I know? I don't know. There are people that I know who would,
I don't
like
know if y'all
respond
can
that way.
speak for her necessarily just because she's in the public eye to think that was fitting. Because I just said if I got to that level, like I would not care.
Never said that it was fitting.
You know,
just
like,
saying that it's not necessarily. It should just be received.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be received as corny.
I didn't say it was corny. I just said I didn't. I don't feel like it's corny.
And most men are clowning it. Like you clown.
I mean, you always gonna get clowned. Like
no, but I'm saying, I'm making
so your ass is the one in the.
Nah, but you clown. No, but I'm saying how women think though. No, but I'm saying how women think. This is why we disagree so much, because y'all don't listen. This is how women think. Women are praising the fact that he publicly apologized. You know why? Because most times men do not publicly apologize.
I mean, I spoke to some women that felt the same way. That was like, yeah, I really like you don't get no points for that, bro. Like your little 30-second video on what's the name where you stroking your beard and
I was saying the same thing.
And I've heard women say that, and that's okay for your opinion.
Yeah,
like, you know, I could fuck with that because I wouldn't really care. Like
as a person of principle, he does get points. It doesn't mean that she's taking him back, but it's public acknowledgement.
Okay,
it's that you disrespected in public, you apologize in public. It's just really that simple. A lot of times men will embarrass and disrespect women, you know, their girlfriends or whatever. All of their friends know that you disrespected her a million times. You're busy, you know, behind closed doors. I'm sorry. But what is wrong with publicly apologizing? What is wrong with people knowing that you are exactly when it's happening publicly, and you guys are not thinking as public figures?
So let me say this though. The reason why I said it was corny, it reflected upon how he came off in the video. My interpretation of how he presented.
Well, now that's part two.
So okay, cool. So my interpretation of how he looked in the video, he seemed very cavalier, like you know what I'm saying. Like it was just like that, and then I'm like, really?
That's not how.
But then it did. That's how I interpreted it, and we can agree to disagree on that. But it was just like
no, but that's why I asked you to prove that. What seemed disingenuous about what he said?
One, it just wasn't. You can for me, and this
you don't even know him.
You're right.
He doesn't talk like that. He actually talks way more confidently. So
really?
Common sense really. If you follow him, right?
No,
so common sense. That's the problem. You're speaking from a point of not knowing. So common sense would say that if a man is talking that way, he's talking because he's humbling himself. He's not confident. First of all, his ego. That takes a lot, and this is my whole thing.
And I'm not saying it's not.
But ego, it takes a lot to subdue your ego enough to go publicly and say, knowing that you will be clowned and ridiculed by the public, to say, you know what, I am sorry, I was wrong. Actually, I didn't even entertain that girl. You know this, but you know what, I'm going to humble myself. He was speaking from a place of being vulnerable, which you are misconstruing as being disingenuous. Period. He's normally a little bit more assertive and a little bit more aggressive. It takes a lot for any man. I never saw that. I seen it on his birthday. He's got a Bentley, and in the video, he's like, he's talking way more aggressively.
Nah.
If you're apologetic and you're humble, you're not gonna. What did you expect him to do? Exactly.
He should have had to cry.
Something.
Like that.
No,
okay.
that would have been
all jokes
fake.
aside.
That would have been fake.
I don't think so. But all jokes aside, I just think
recording yourself crying.
It's not recording yourself crying.
Come on, my guy. Recording yourself crying. Really?
That's him saying that. I'm not saying that he should have looked like that.
No, there's a meme going around with another voice of him crying.
Okay, well, no. All I'm saying is, from my viewpoint, I'm not negating the fact that he did it. Cool. If that's enough for him to get her back, whatever.
It's not enough. You're missing the principle.
No, I'm just telling you how I feel about the whole situation.
But it's not enough. It's just the principle.
Honestly, I don't care if it's enough. I'm just giving you my interpretation of how he looked. It didn't seem genuine to me, and that just go by from what I've seen from that video. However, I will say this, though. The whole thing about, going viral on social media, I just think keep that, even though you're in the spotlight, you don't owe us people every day. You don't owe us that. I don't care to know that.
It's not
Fix
owing
that.
Y'all. It's not about
so why
you.
do it?
Because it's like, first of all, you've been in a relationship before, right?
Yeah.
People do this all the time. It's called desperation. It's called I fucked up. I lost my family. It's my birthday. I'm not with my wife and child. It's about to be Christmas. I don't have my family. You know what? I'm fucking desperate. I've been texting her. I've been popping up. I've been doing everything. This is the last resort. You know what? I'm going to tell the world. You know why? Because I did violate her in public. So this is the last resort. Hey, you know, I really miss my wife. I'm sorry. I know I fucked up. That's all it really is. It's not really much more than that.
And then, like, he didn't look like he didn't. The way you're saying, the way you're speaking with such passion and like, you know what?
No, because
he didn't seem like that to me.
Wasn't
so that's why I feel like it wasn't
he was
genuine.
subduing his ego.
Okay, cool.
I think
honestly,
it takes a lot for a man to record himself to say to the world, because most men would not do it.
Raine, all I'm saying is this, and this is like, I was just surprised. I was in the barber chair getting my beard shaped up, and I'm surprised we actually going back and forth. Like, I didn't care. All I said was just corny for the fact that, one, he didn't look sincere. It was very cavalier. It came up very like, okay, you know what I'm saying, very like carefree. That's all I'm saying.
What would have made it look more sincere?
Because I feel like this coming, and I can speak from I can't speak from a man's perspective on that, and also being on both sides. Like, you would think that it would be a bit more like, you know, I guess wanting her back kind of thing. Like, you can tell in their eyes and their gestures and how they talk. Like, it just didn't seem like he was speaking from a sense of urgency.
He's recording himself.
Then I don't know. I didn't
what
feel
did you
it. I don't know.
From a
I don't know. I don't know personally.
Have
I don't
you ever
care.
apologized on camera? No,
because I speak to the person.
But have you ever apologized on camera?
Have I apologized on camera?
Yes,
no, I have not.
No, exactly. So what exactly are you expecting?
Conviction, something. I didn't see that.
That's fake.
I don't think that's fake.
Conviction? You're expecting conviction on camera. Let's be realistic. This is the problem with being in the public eye. People judge so harshly, but they never internalize to the point of putting yourself in his shoes. You've never been on camera knowing that you will be judged by millions of people, not a couple of people, millions of people. I'm not going so hard for it. It's just the fact that being written off by other men.
I'm not writing him off. All I said was, like, the gesture itself was like, okay, kind of corny, because, like, yo, handle that shit inside. Like, do that outside of that. You don't need to broadcast that.
No,
I
disagree with that.
That's just me. That's just me.
He publicly disrespected
her.
Well,
you right, and it is wrong what he did. I'm not advocating that at all.
Public apologies are very acceptable.
Fucked up. It was fucked up. You can go either way, but I choose not. I can care less about that.
Some things I believe you made it public.
I don't think so.
That's a personal principle.
And that makes me feel like the whole shit is Hollywood. The whole from the beginning.
And I thought about that too.
I don't agree with that.
I thought about that, but then
conspiracy theory.
I don't think it. But I don't think it's Hollywood.
That's what that whole shit is.
There's a third of the people that think that too.
Followers gotta feel like telling followers like, you could have sent her a video. Yo, I'm sorry.
That's true too.
But what the fuck does putting it online do? That's like going to your post
and saying that I'm mad today. What the fuck is going to your post saying that you don't like such and such today?
What does the apology mean, saying it to anybody else but the person you apologizing to?
No, he publicly disrespected her. Period.
I don't know.
If you publicly disrespect me, I'm going to respect the public apology. Why is that not simple?
We don't condone public disrespect, by the way. Just wanted to say that.
But you don't condone public apology.
I never said I don't condone public apology. I just felt his.
No, the second premise is that he was disingenuous. The first premise is that you don't feel that he should have publicly apologized. That's what you said.
Yeah, I did, because I felt something like that.
Okay, so
keep that in-house. Keep that in-house.
Nah.
I think keep that in-house. You know what I'm saying? I hope they work things out because they have a child. That's very important. Outside of that, keep that shit in-house.
I disagree.
And you know
if you get caught on FaceTime and a FaceTime video goes viral of you, if you're in a relationship and you get caught on camera and your woman is a public figure, it is nothing wrong with you publicly apologizing because your disrespect was public, period. And from a woman's standpoint, this is where men are losing it. Because had it been reversed, you'd be sick. Had it been reversed, and this is what I said, if Cardi B was on, not Cardi B, if your woman was caught on FaceTime another man for a fucking threesome or whatever, trying to entertain sex from another man, and she's caught on camera, niggas would kill themselves. You will fucking kill yourself.
I wouldn't want no IG apology.
But you know what? I have a feeling that neither of you would like put yourself in a position to be going on like to be making any type of public statements expressing your like remorse toward anything.
But it also speaks to his.
But you also
might
wonder
have
if you
legally
make public.
release a statement.
But if you, it makes me question if you would even publicly do the opposite.
What do you mean?
Publicly declare your love. Most men hide their women anyway.
Oh, nah. I mean, it's
Most men don't. Most men hide their women. There are very few men that celebrate their women.
I mean,
yo.
it's not about celebrating and hiding, but to kind of want to keep your private life separate.
It's
like,
not a
where
private
a lot of
life.
People don't want to have like their
You
children
guys are not
out
speaking from being
on
public
the
figures.
television
It's
and
not
all
a
of that.
private life.
That's what I'm speaking from being a public figure. Like if you have your private life with your children and your wife and all of that, I wouldn't want that to be broadcasted.
Your
I wouldn't
your
want my kids
infidelity
and
was
all of
broadcasted. Your infidelity
about-
is broadcasted.
Wait, I was just
That
talking
negates
about,
that whole argument.
I was talking about specifically. You said
No, but
publicly
your
acknowledging
infidelity.
Your woman.
You
That's what
fucked
I was
up.
talking about.
You
I
fucked
wasn't-
up the private life. You fucked up the private life. You got caught on camera entertaining another woman. So now it's public. So us keeping our little happy home private, you fucked that up. You goddamn right. You better publicly apologize.
I mean,
You fucked up the privacy. This is the way when men want their cake and eat it too. You fucked that up.
I'm saying if the roles was reversed, I wouldn't want no public.
Yeah.
Like that holds
It's not-
absolutely no weight for me.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I
you
think
get
there's
no
However,
points
you're-
for
and
that.
that's
the
real.
height of
That's
Cardi
real.
B, you're not
Like,
imagining the height
I'm
of Cardi
saying
B.
But when
the
you're
roles reversed,
apologizing-
if I'm at to that level, and
when
I
you're-
would not care.
but when you're making an
Jay-Z public
apology-
apology. Jay-Z public apology.
When you're
Not
making
no
an apology,
video.
it's
Not
not
no
about
video on
you.
For
IG.
what? Public apology.
That a video is
No,
different. If you
keep-
come out with a
now-
statement, if you
but
come
now
out with
it's
a
the
statement,
video.
that's the
But now
yeah.
it's the
But
video.
to me, it's like you doing it for social media.
No,
like
we're
it's
talking about
disingenuous. Like,
public
it's-
apology.
You can issue a
Jay-Z
statement.
had a public
His
apology.
lawyer issued a statement. Not like,
No,
I'm sure
it's still a
he
public apology. If you disrespect your public woman
issuing a
publicly,
statement and doing an IG.
Okay,
video, I
so
think is
my whole thing
he's
was
a
how-
young, dumb, ignorant dude. He don't really know much. It's not. I'm not gonna have a lawyer do a
he got
statement.
enough money.
A lawyer
He
doing
got
a
lawyers.
statement is super disingenuous. That has no integrity. A lawyer doing a statement.
What did Jay-Z do?
If it's for the
fuck outta
if
here.
it's for the public, like I don't owe nobody in the public no apology. Offset don't
No,
owe
you
me
owe
or
your
you
wife
no
a public apology. You owe your wife a public
Nah,
apology.
I don't think he owes her a public apology.
I
He
do.
owes her, he owes her an apology, and he. they
No,
listened
I
to
feel
No,
me.
he
like
owes her
I
a
feel
public
like I
apology.
do, and
I
so
don't-
and then this is the thing that like this
I
is
don't think
one of the
so.
things that is important
same
to
way-
recognize is that like who are you doing it for, right? It's not about you. So like if it is that you know that the recipient or the wife, like your wife, whomever, if you know that embarrassment is that thing that she's carrying and this shit happened publicly. And that's something that you would
Common
appreciate.
sense.
You're gonna have to like become humble and do that, regardless of whether or
Yeah,
not
humble
like that's
yourself.
something that's gonna work for you or not. If that's something that she appreciates or she would appreciate, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Different people are different.
I don't know if she appreciates that. She might feel the same way we do. Like,
It
yo,
doesn't.
what is that
However-
word?
It doesn't mean she's gonna take him back. It's just the
Hey,
principle.
all I'm saying is this: if you're gonna do it public, I feel like you need to, like you said, and I get what you mean when you say, "Oh, it's like kind of disingenuous if you try to show emotion." I get that because it comes off like you trying too hard. But also, however, is you. I just think maybe I was expecting more from I don't
What
know.
more do you
I don't know.
want from me?
I don't know.
He showed-
Yeah, like a
he
Lenny
showed
Williams
up.
song. I
No,
don't
he
know.
showed up.
You need
He's
to
Girl,
do a
you
Tyrese.
know I love
He's
you.
doing
Something.
regular shit. He
I
showed
don't
up at
know.
her concert. You
And-
saw that?
Yeah, I did see that. I seen that.
That's
and I was gonna
regular
speak to that.
shit. Have you ever been there? That's regular shit. Niggas do
That's
that all
like
the
showing up
time.
to your
Yeah.
wife's job,
Exactly.
and like
It's no
showing in front
different.
of
And she
her
wasn't happy
coworkers
about
that.
it.
Y'all bugging.
Yeah, well,
I
like
don't see
because
how we bugging.
because they're having
Y'all
like a
like
genuine
that?
interaction.
Do y'all?
Like
Don't
what?
come to my fucking job.
Like what? No. Don't get me wrong.
Like, I
Do
would be
not get me
tight.
wrong. Don't
She
get me
was
wrong.
tight.
Don't
That's
come to my
not
fucking
my
job.
style, but that could very well be her style because she's a public person. She does
Okay,
all
I
of
don't
that
know.
shit
I'm
publicly.
asking y'all, but
No,
y'all
she
like
does all of
somebody
that shit
showing up
publicly.
at your job. I
No.
would be tight.
Don't
Not-
embarrass me.
not
Emily.
Don't, that's what I'm saying.
Don't fuck
Do
with me.
not
Don't fuck with my
fucking do
job.
this to me at work,
I'm
yo.
just saying that.
Don't
Don't let me
Yeah.
have to cuss you out
trying
while
to
I'm at
say-
work
That's
because
what
I
I'm
will
saying.
do it.
They're no different than us. I always tell you this
That's
every
what I'm
week.
saying. I'm asking
Same
y'all, would
levels,
y'all-
different
would y'all-
devils,
would
yo.
y'all be mad? I would be
No,
mad.
She was mad.
however-
She was
Okay.
mad. She was
However,
like,
her
"Get the fuck
career
outta
started
here."
on
Okay,
Love and
alright,
Hip Hop.
yeah.
However, her career started
It
on
really
Love and Hip Hop,
didn't.
and
It-
it wouldn't. Her
But that
career,
doesn't mean she's not
well,
allowed
and-
to have a
and at
private
least,
life.
like,
though.
publicly,
Like no
I-
matter what.
No, I
think, like,
agree.
she wants her music.
However,
she wants
she
whatever
publicly
to
came
be,
out to let us know that they were no longer together. She publicly
She
like
did.
came out, you see
It's
what I'm saying?
public.
So all of
which
those
make me
things.
feel like
all of those things.
Shit is for the
No,
cameras,
she
baby.
did that because she knew it would hit the fan. She did it before it would hit the fan. The next day it hit the
So
fan.
that nobody could get bread for it. I could feel
No,
like,
not only that,
I
so
could
that
feel like
she
'cause
wouldn't
somebody
start,
breaking the story
they
would get bread.
start coming at you.
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
feel
your
you.
man's it. So she kind of got ahead of the story.
I could
Me
feel
and
that.
my husband have been having issues for a long time now. We've actually been separated for a long time. She said all this.
could feel that.
So she
I
did
could
it
feel
before
that.
the video came out because it's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to see your man FaceTiming some chick that's
It
in your
is.
level. That's not on your level, but in your
But in your-
community.
yeah.
And niggas hate that shit. It's the same shit that Meek Mills is talking about.
Yep.
The whole song about
Flip.
falling in love. Yeah, the whole song about the thotty is because he's falling for a chick, then finds out that she fucked mad dudes in the same circle. It's the same thing. You trying to fuck a chick who's 30,000 times under your wife, but in the same trying to be your wife essentially, and you got caught on camera. I don't understand what's the big deal about a public apology.
All I said was corny.
Yeah, I ain't think it was
I
big.
didn't-
I
I
was just
didn't
saying
really
it
care
wouldn't
about
be
it.
worth
And I
nothing
think
for
I-
me.
Yeah,
I
I
hear
don't
that.
really care about it.
Y'all
but
say
I
that
just thought
shit
it was
until
corny.
y'all need to make a public apology.
I don't. Yeah.
Nah,
it's
but
not
you
gonna
know what it
happen.
shows
Don't
me?
say that
Most
you
men
won't be
don't
in that
make public
position.
I
apologies.
don't. I mean, if
Nah.
and now,
If they apologize at all.
now,
Nah.
if you're dealing with somebody who would be receptive to that kind of thing, then I can understand you doing it. I said, me personally, I don't want to see that shit. Don't come to
Your
my job
fans-
with that shit. Don't be on social media doing that shit. Work your shit out with us. I'm trying to keep as much of my life private as possible. Already,
Yeah.
everywhere I go, everything I do is already on TMZ.
He's
I
desperate.
don't want my fucking, domestic disputes on TMZ as well. So let's try to keep as much in house as possible. That's how I would be.
Yeah.
Maybe she is receptive to
It's
that.
not
Maybe
really
she loves
about
it.
her. It's
I'm
just about
saying.
the same. I said the same
It's
thing
about
a
this
couple
idea
weeks
of
ago
desperation
about
and
Nas. I, as a Nas fan, most men clowned him for what he did for his whole little speech on Instagram. As a female Nas fan, I needed to hear his side. Doing bitch ass shit like Fab, not saying shit, hiding, and then coming back out like it's all good and secretly marrying your wife. I don't respect that. As a woman, the rumor out there, the public disrespect of your woman is that you knocked her fucking teeth out. That's the public. The public knows that. All the men. This is a part of the sexism though that goes on though, and a lot of men perpetuate that. All of the men know that, and they're all cool with it. Me personally, this is also a school of thought. My school of thought is I find it very hard to separate heinous acts from the art. I can't do it. Me personally, like again, the king of
You're entitled to that.
and
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. But more importantly, beyond entitlement, as a woman fan, a lot of these men are their whole bread and butter is women. It's women that's purchasing your fucking music. So now you have on your record that you beat women or that you sexually assault women. It's not fucking cool of you not saying shit. The same thing with R. Kelly. It's not fucking cool. R. Kelly being
He's
mentioned
different.
right
He's
now
mentally
as the
ill.
king of R&B. You know what? Honestly, he is one of the undisputed kings of R&B. But fuck R. Kelly. And the fact that he's being celebrated by everybody now in this topic, no. Heinous acts fuck up your legacy. Fuck you, R. Kelly. That is a part of sexism and patriarchy, that we can actually celebrate a man who we know is a fucking pedophile. It's no fucking different. That shit is fucking whack.
That leaves
Public.
me-
Nah, man.
Nah, fuck that. You fucking
Offset
you
did
are
not sexually assault people.
No,
no,
that's
don't
not
do
what
that.
she's
Don't do
saying.
that. Don't do
That's
that.
not
Don't
what she's
don't
saying.
do that. It's
no,
the
it's
same
not.
context.
That's not what
I'm
she's
saying
saying.
that you disrespect publicly. You cannot be celebrated publicly.
You have to hear what she's saying. What
Yeah,
But
she's not
essentially
please,
then
explaining.
y'all celebrating
dumb it
him for
down.
apologizing
Please dumb it down. We're not
publicly.
celebrating him. We're acknowledging the
That's
fact
not
that he disrespected her publicly.
And
Please
which
explain.
is what,
Dumb it
which
down.
is what lets me realize that you guys are missing the point that she's
Yes,
making.
you are.
Right? She's not giving him props for publicly apologizing. She's acknowledging that, like with most folks, like when you're done wrong publicly, it requires like a public address. Like with Fabulous, whatever the fuck you want to call himself, he that was public. Like the video of him attacking that girl was public. The video of him threatening her, that was public.
And he didn't say shit.
He didn't address that at all.
He didn't even say nothing.
Which is different
It's not
from.
I
cool.
didn't know
which
she
is
wanted
different
him
from,
to address it more and make it
regardless,
Nigga,
go
knock
it
it the
doesn't
fuck
have-
off. He
pour
has
more
women
gasoline
female.
on
He
the
has
fire.
female
circumstance-
fans.
But how do you know that your wife
In
doesn't
that
want you to not
circumstance,
pour
in
more
that
gasoline on the
circumstance,
fire?
It does not matter.
Kid,
In
go
that
ahead.
circumstance, it does not matter. In that circumstance, knowing that most of the people who are buying your albums are women, Like, that shit doesn't
It's
matter.
still not more important than your wife at that point. If your wife is saying, yo, I don't want you to do
More important
this.
than your wife?
They're
You
not.
don't give a fuck about your wife. Your wife is fucking running from you, nigga, on fucking camera.
Yo, I'm not
women that buy
defending
your
what
records.
happened.
Get
It
the fuck
happened.
outta here.
That was in his personal life. That was his domestic
No, your
dispute.
response right now is pretty stupid.
No, it's not. You don't know what she wanted.
you
You
kidding
don't
me?
know what she
Are you
wanted.
kidding
What do you
me?
mean it doesn't matter
Are
what
you
she wanted?
kidding me?
You're gonna go with what fans want over what your family wants? He has to go lay down with his
as a
wife.
public artist,
It's a reach.
Like,
You're reaching.
As a
I'm not
public
reaching.
artist,
I
he
don't
has-
know.
That's not even
as a
plausible.
public
I
artist,
just said I wouldn't want no public apology had the role if the roles were reversed.
and that's you,
That's-
right?
and that's
you
typical.
with your lifestyle. What I'm saying is with Fabulous, like he got a couple of stakeholders to speak to, right? There's his wife, so it does matter what she says. I didn't mean to say that it didn't matter. However, that's not the only person that he needs to address. He has this public, like the public, his fans,
He's
right?
a public figure.
But
But does the
address-
public outweigh what his wife says? If,
I'm
No,
his-
it does
if
not
his wife
outweigh.
says, "Yo,
I'm not
baby,
saying
I
that.
don't,
Don't
I
make
don't,
the
I'm trying to
argument
dead
about
this
that.
shit."
That's
But
not
what
even-
I'm
that's
saying
not
is,
even a topic.
but what if his
That's not the
wife said,
topic.
"Yo, I want to dead this shit. I don't want to pour no more gasoline on the flames. I don't want to see this shit on TMZ no more. Let's just dead it.
If your
Don't say
relationship-
nothing."
if your
And he
relationship
went
with
like,
the public-
you don't know that.
You're
You
dealing
don't
with
know whether or not
hypothetically.
she did that.
You think you're dealing with hypothetically?
Y'all dealing with hypotheticals too. Y'all saying hypothetically she wanted him to come out and say something.
No. See,
Neither one of us
But
know
that's the
that.
thing. No
That's-
one
no
said
one
that
said
she wanted him to.
It doesn't.
about?
Again, you're missing the point. No one
Now
said
we
that
back.
she wanted him to, right? What we're saying is that given that this happened publicly and you are a public
It's not
figure,
that's
you
not
have a
hypothetical.
responsibility to address it publicly, especially to your fans, some of your stakeholders who are women.
Accountability
who
is
you
very
need to be
hard in
accountable
life
to.
for adults.
That's different.
Niggas are not accountable.
That's different.
More
No one
accountable
is
to his
saying
wife
that
than to his
Offset
fans.
shit
That's
like
an
had a
assumption.
responsibility.
He's not fucking accountable to his wife.
Why is he not?
How is he?
Because they had a domestic dispute. Like, we don't know the history of them. If at one time, them being together 20 years, they had a domestic dispute. Not to say that he's not 1,000% wrong. It's 1,000% wrong to put your hands
You're
on a
fucking
woman. But
creating
you're gonna
facts.
try to,
You're
you're gonna try to
creating
make it
facts.
seem like he's this fucking terrible dude because maybe one time they got into
No
a
one is
domestic
saying
dispute.
that, but-
like, come on,
but
man.
This is the
You're
shit
like,
that
shit don't
niggas
fucking
do.
happen crazy.
This is the shit that niggas do.
Yo,
You
man.
make up, you fucking do this dumb shit
Do
for your
what?
favorite rappers.
It
and
ain't
your
my favorite
This
rapper.
is
I'm
the
just
shit.
saying, y'all
you're
trying to
doing.
put him in the category.
My
Just
nigga, you
throw him
just
in
created
here
a
like
whole
this shit, like
story.
he's Ike Turner.
You created-
Fabulous
But we
ain't
don't
fucking
know
Ike
if he
Turner,
is.
man.
We
But
don't know
we
if
don't
he's
know
not.
if he is.
We don't know if he's not.
But we
Ike
don't know
Turner.
that he is. You
no one
can't. You
did
can't prove somebody guilty without getting the facts first.
No.
You can't automatically say, "Yo, he
Hear
did
me
this shit
out.
one time." He's
That's
a serial
patriarchy.
fucking.
That's patriarchy.
No,
It
man, for
is.
nobody.
That's
For
patriarchy.
nobody.
That is
It is.
For
patriarchy.
nobody. Woman
That
or
is
man.
No, that is patriarchy.
No,
So
man.
that's not what
I'm
we
not
said,
gonna
right?
judge
We
somebody
did
off
not
of one
call-
mistake that they did.
We
That's
did
what
not
I'm
Who's
say-
saying.
judging? One mistake?
Like,
He's going to fucking jail. I can't wait till you niggas like fucking wake the fuck up.
You can go to jail for doing something one time.
Niggas don't wake up until the
Not to
facts
say that
come.
he's wrong
the
in
facts
one
are coming
time.
up. My bad, I take that back. I don't know if he's going to jail, but the charges are still open. At the end of the day, it's still on record that he knocked her fucking teeth out. It's just that he never
so
acknowledged
anybody
it.
who got one charge or something is a horrible
So
person
hear
in
me
their
out.
life.
Don't
Hear
be
me
dumb,
out.
my
That's
nigga.
not-
You
what I
just said it. He got one. So him having one charge
So can I-
makes him
Anyway,
fucking
let me say
shout out
something.
to Nas for actually
Or fucking-
acknowledging
or-
that he has female fans and giving his side of the story.
Wait a
when,
second.
When a
We're
man
not
gives his
actually
side of the
listening
story,
to each other. We're not
you're
actually listening to one another and
'Cause he's
responding to
creating
the things
shit.
that people are saying. Now, in response to what you're saying, right? Nobody is calling Fabulous Ike Turner, right? No one is calling him that. You took what we were saying and like,
out of context.
way out of context, right? What we said is that given that that incident that happened with him and Emily was so public that it required a public response, him as an artist. No one said that he was Ike Turner. No one said that he deserved to go to jail because of it. What we said was that it just required a public address because it was something that happened publicly, and he has a responsibility to his various stakeholders, including the children that he bears, that he like shares a motherhood with or shares a family with this woman, the fans that purchase his music. He has a responsibility to go to those people and say, yup, y'all saw some shit. It didn't look good. Like, whether or not it's the first time or the last time, like it wasn't great. I'm working on it.
Nigga
You're
didn't
working
say
on it.
nothing.
Thank you for the privacy at this given time. No one is asking for him to divulge those details. People are asking him to recognize that people are looking at him, people are paying attention to him, people are seeing who he is, and like and supporting him, supporting the lifestyle that he currently lives, and he needs to be responsible about that attention that he has. That's all we're saying. No one is saying that he deserves to be demonized for that act because we don't know if it was the first time. We don't know it's the last time. But when you relegate it to this like simple thing that just might have happened,
Exactly.
you're taking away the weight of the fact that this nigga knocked a person's teeth out. You're softening the blow for the impact that his actions have on like her children. One of which is like a young female who has to grow up in society knowing that her mama got her teeth publicly knocked out and her father didn't address it publicly. Like, that's not cool. And when we're not addressing that, that's a fucking problem.
We agree to disagree to make me think that addressing something publicly means anything. That means absolutely nothing to me. Whether I'm a public figure, whether I'm the president of the United States,
You have a lot of learning
it
to
does
do.
not matter. No,
As your state grows, you'll learn.
No, I have my right to feel. I have my right to feel the way that I feel. If the shit pops off and the video I just dropped yesterday sells 1 million copies tomorrow, and I'm on fucking the front page of everything, and I'm the male equivalent to what Cardi B is, and some shit happens
Your
to
PR
infidelity,
person will let
I
you know.
don't want
Hey, you're
nobody
gonna have
coming
to make
out.
this statement.
No,
period.
what I'm saying is if it was the other way around, if my woman did something, I don't want no.
If your woman's not public, who gives a fuck about your woman?
If she was,
that's for you.
if she
that's
was,
you.
I care nothing about that public apology. Is all I'm saying.
But
That's
I'm
you.
okay. So
So-
let me say this. Let me put it
And
in
everybody's
this
different. Just
perspective,
because
right?
you have an opinion
Let me
doesn't
say
mean
it like
everybody
this.
agrees with it.
No,
If-
it's
if
not
Kanye
different
West-
law. It's not
You know
about
what I'm
fuck. Everything is
Your
not.
opinion ain't
Everything
law.
is not. Everything is not regulated to a fucking opinion. Let's just get that.
It is
No, it's
different.
not.
Yes, because
this
we're talking
world,
about
this
her.
world, this era,
Cardi B
this
is a
era
person that
makes you
has her
think
own
that.
opinion.
This era makes you think that, but everything is not regulated to an opinion.
Our opinion on their personal relationship has no weight.
I have to.
I feel good about Fabulous apologizing about Emily. Like, that's their personal relationship. He makes music. If you feel like that
that's
makes you
real,
not want
but
to buy
in
his
order
music
for-
no more, okay, you're
That's
entitled to that.
patriarchy.
But
as a
he don't owe
as a
you no
business, he's
apology.
still
Yes,
responsible.
he owes.
You
He
don't have
he
to
don't
buy
owe
it
no
no
apology.
more. That's
He
fine.
owes
I'm
his
sorry.
public following, that's mainly women. He owes them something. You don't have to apologize. He owes them acknowledgement.
So are you
Adults-
telling me that
adults
Trump-
are accountable? Period. You have a
Let me-
fucking female following.
Let me
Young
ask you a
women
question.
think that you beat your fucking wife.
Let me
The
ask-
least you could do is say something publicly to those women.
So you don't think that
Period.
Trump or Kavanaugh should have spoke up? You give me a moment. You don't think that they had a responsibility
They're
to speak up and said
politicians. He's a rapper.
it
It's
doesn't
huge
matter.
difference.
You have a
What?
You are a public fucking figure.
All right,
Are
I'm
you
done.
kidding me?
Fabulous got
I'm
the
done.
same
You are a
responsibility as the
public
president
figure.
of
This
the
is the dumb
United
shit I'm
States
talking
of
about. What are you
America.
talking about?
Fabulous has the same responsibility as the president
Yes,
of the United
he
States
has
of
a
America.
Responsibility
responsibility
as an
to
adult
the
male.
women that are following
Yes, he
him,
does.
that have made him rich in the past 20 years. Yes,
Fabulous
he
is not
owes those
responsible
women.
for leading the free world.
But
Are you
he's-
kidding
that-
me?
Wow, it doesn't. So can I ask you a question? So
I
are
think
you
we're
telling me that the only
going down
person
a
who's
wormhole.
responsible for developing our community in this world is the president of the United States?
No, absolutely
So,
not.
so do we not owe?
Does he have not way more
will you not-
responsibility in that
if you
than a
have
rapper?
If you have a child that goes to a school, and the principal ends up on fucking social media smoking weed or something, do you not want to hear from that principal like, damn, like I was wrong for like those acts and things of that nature, like that wasn't okay? It doesn't set a good example. Like, would you not want to hear that? That's like if
On Instagram?
it doesn't matter.
Nah.
It doesn't
Publicly,
matter
it
how
wouldn't
it's
really
addressed.
matter to me.
It doesn't matter how it's addressed. As long
Again,
as
it wouldn't make that
addressed.
much difference to me if you did
And
it publicly.
so with that, I
That
think
wouldn't
that
really
you are
hold no weight for
minority
me.
because I think most folks would want like people who hold like responsible positions to speak out against the things that they're doing that are incorrect. I think if the person in your company did something that fucked up right now that made you feel the wrong way or feel like that rubs you the wrong way, you would want them to make an apology. So, and I think that you would, like you sitting down here saying that that's not the case, I think that that's naive.
But see, when you say my company, that's different because that's my business. I'm speaking about my intimate personal
that nigga's
relationships.
business.
I don't
I'm
want my
sorry,
personal relationship
Carnegie
shit
kid.
out there. That's what I'm
Fabulous's
saying.
business is his image as an artist. That is his business. So he does have a responsibility. You can't separate those two.
But if his wife is like, yo, I don't want to
drink.
pour more gasoline on this fire
and drink.
and get our shit more
That's-
popping,
but that's a
whose
hypothetical
responsibility
You're
is
giving
it?
me a hypothetical situation when I'm speaking to you about facts, and the fact is he publicly he did something that was publicly ridiculous, that caused an outrage, that was dehumanizing to women,
Yes.
and it deserved to be addressed. And anyone who thinks any differently, like you are the reason why our country is the way that it is. You are the reason why our our girls are gonna grow up and think that it's okay for their asses to get beat and nobody speak up against
IG
you.
apology
And I
don't
just
make it okay
I just
to
want
get
you to
your
hear
teeth
that and
knocked out
own
for
that.
me.
So let me just say this, because I think we went from Offset to Fabulous. I feel like they were two. They're both fucked up in a way where they disrespected their women publicly. However,
Can
one.
somebody pass me the pizza box on top, please? There's pizza here, guys.
Yeah, we have pizza. Shout out to Domino's.
It might be cold.
So what I'm saying is this:
Nah,
Offset.
we paid them. We ain't shouting them out. The fuck? Sorry.
We eating Domino's, so just shout out to them because they putting
Nah.
food in our belly.
It was
Anyway,
a
doesn't. All right.
Business shit. We don't sponsors. You shout out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we eating the shit.
Nah,
So
hell yeah, bless it.
yeah. So all I'm saying is this, man. Offset, what he and the way he did it, it was corny to me. It didn't seem sincere. It didn't seem genuine. Just like there's some people who feel it's genuine, sincere. Those women out there, there's gonna be other people who feels like, yo, you come on, really, dude, like you really, you know what I'm saying, like fuck shit up, and then like you gonna get yourself recorded. Like honestly, I can give two shits about what these celebrities really go through. I just felt initially going through my Facebook timeline, somebody had that shit up, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. And I looked at it, and I'm like, well, this is kind of corny. And then, like, the way he sounded, the way he looked, I'm like, come on, dude. You really don't look like you're trying to get your woman back. You look like you're just making sure you got the coal out your eye, and you fixing you
I actually
tapping
think his
your
ass
peach
was
fuzz.
scared.
Nah.
Wait,
outta
are
here.
you talking
Whatever,
about?
to each his
I
own,
only
but
saw
I
the thing
want
when
to be
with
off
them
this
on
shit.
stage.
No pun intended.
When he came to the show, I didn't see that. I didn't
I
even know
only
that
saw
happened.
I seen that
And
this
she looked like
morning.
she was saying like, if you don't get the fuck off this
Yeah.
stage, I'm gonna fuck you up. So with that, I understand like.
Yeah, don't show up at my job.
I mean, to
yo.
speak on his the fucking public apology on IG is also, we gotta speak on the fact that what he did was pretty fucking stupid, and he made a mockery of his whole relationship, and it's fucked up. He hurt his woman, hurt his wife. They're married, correct?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Offset, you got to do better, but I'm off this, pun intended. Yeah, agree to disagree. We don't condone disrespecting women publicly, though. Reef and McCray, stamp. Thank you.
Y'all
You
sure?
don't condone public apologies either of this after you disrespect a woman either. And you don't care if you don't also make that clear
Excuse
as
me?
well. Also, you don't care if
That's
men
not-
do not acknowledge their faults in public.
That's not true. We just saying as far as him.
Oh, because I mean the examples that I made
Okay.
were basically where public figures. Where I'm just saying that this is where it is a matter of opinion, right?
Okay.
So it's right, but I'm saying as a woman fan, I'm speaking as a woman fan. You cannot disrespect women in public and not acknowledge that. Period. Point blank. It will affect your money.
Mm-hmm.
It will affect you going forward.
Okay.
You will lose a lot of your fans. Period.
And I can dig that. All I was saying was, as far as him doing that, if you're going to do that, right? When I think of people who gave public apologies, I think of like fucking, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, these people who've made public apologies.
And they were required to by their PR people. I want y'all to learn life.
I know. Like,
they were required to.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that. But however, whether they were required to or not, you can tell that there was some type of like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like, they were upset. They were hurt. They were emotional. I felt like with this dude, it was just, I didn't buy it. So I'm
hurt
like,
and
fuck
emotional. Are we gonna do that? Because Kobe Bryant was accused of what? Rape.
He was accused of rape.
Of rape.
Yeah.
My niggas, let's move off the topic, please.
Really?
He was
Really?
apologizing about fucking raping a woman. Get the fuck out of here.
No, he was
He didn't
apologizing
apologize
about
for-
cheating on his wife.
Thank
that
you.
raping a woman was
He
totally
wasn't
Oh,
there.
bullshit,
okay.
and that was
So
fine. That was
the
1,000%
public apology
bullshit.
was to his
He
wife.
absolutely never. He never copped to that.
He never copped to
he
that because it
maintained his
wasn't that.
innocence 1,000%.
He was found guilty, was he not?
No, he
No, he
hell no,
wasn't.
he
No,
wasn't.
He wasn't
no.
found guilty.
Hell
for it.
no. That
If he
shit
was, I
thrown
would have
out.
never used that as an
The big
example.
thing
If he was.
The case
But
was
the
thrown
fact
out.
that-
That
So
was an
here's my
apology to his
question.
The
wife.
fact that-
Y'all
No.
thought that was a
Infidelity.
take. So y'all thought that whole charge, y'all just like it got swept under the rug.
No, all I'm saying is this. Offset did not look like a person that cared,
In your opinion.
in my opinion. And I can
I
have
think
that
that's
opinion.
way different. Kobe Bryant situation and Offset situation are way
All I'm
different.
saying as far as
He's
like
being
the
How
charge-
is it different?
He's being charged with
No.
raping somebody,
Well,
like
Reef.
infidelity, and being
No,
charged with
y'all
rape
said that he
is too
publicly
crazy.
apologized to his wife.
I'm just going
In
off the
what
fact that
manner?
he looked
What was
remorseful.
the vehicle?
That's
what was the
that's my
vehicle
comparison.
that Kobe
They had a
Bryant
press
did that made y'all
conference.
fit a press conference?
At a press conference.
I've never.
Because he was
A
being
press
charged
conference.
with rape. There are no he was facing life in prison.
Let's
This
stick
is totally
to the
different. This is
topic.
totally
So-
different.
Stick to the
All I'm
topic.
this what I-
you
Two
guys
different
were very
situations,
comfortable
cheating on your
with
wife and being
no,
accused
it's
of
not.
rape.
He publicly apologized to
Infidelity
his
and
wife
rape
in a
is the
fucking
same
press
shit.
conference?
Infidelity and rape is the same shit.
Am I saying that?
So
Am I
I'm saying it's
saying
two
that?
different
No.
situations.
Use your fucking brain,
I
my
don't
nigga.
think-
Am I saying that?
I don't think y'all are listening to one another.
I don't think so either, because all I said was in comparison to how they.
How am
were,
I not listening?
all I'm saying is this.
He's not listening to me.
Okay, let me.
You guys said that Kobe Bryant publicly apologized. You giving me?
Hold
Hold up. Let me be clear, so I
ahead.
won't be loud and wrong. All
Go
right.
ahead.
You said that he publicly apologized
Okay.
to his wife. I asked, what was the vehicle? You said a press conference. So a press conference makes him more sincere.
I wasn't. I was.
never
That wasn't
said
my
that.
angle.
So I mean that's common
But that's
sense
it.
I
though.
never
No, but
That's
my
your
angle-
fucking argument.
No, it
Y'all
wasn't mine.
keep saying
It
that.
wasn't
It's
mine.
no, you and you.
I
you
never
keep-
said
hold-
that.
Let me finish
I
talking.
never said
Let me
Kobe
Bryant
Bryant
finish.
was
Finish
more
her point,
sincere.
and then you make your point. Let her.
You said that Kobe. You said that y'all didn't like the fact that he used Instagram, right or wrong.
Yeah.
So
I said.
that's the vehicle in which he used to apologize.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem as
So
though you're
a press-
comparing both the forms in which they use to
That's not
determine
what I'm doing.
sincerity.
I never
point
said
was-
that Kobe's was
Clarify.
No,
sincere.
it
Y'all
reduces
jumping
your
into
argument.
No,
situations.
This
does
is what-
not.
yes,
Let
it
me
does.
just. Can
It
me
does.
just finish what I was trying to say? All I'm saying was comparison to Kobe Bryant's press conference. It was a brother that looked actually remorseful for what
During
he
a
did.
press conference.
Doesn't matter.
That's disingenuous off rip.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's your opinion.
I think
That's
Just
a
like
fact.
that's how my
Again.
opinion. That's
How
an
can you
opinion.
no,
Anytime
because
it's
this
your
one,
opinion,
no,
you
and
say
it's
it's
against
valid.
your
That's your
argument.
opinion.
It's not my
Don't.
opinion.
Dang.
It's not my opinion. First
your-
of all, it's not my opinion. Your opinion is that the vehicle used is what made it.
That
you
wasn't my
both-
argument. That
you
was my
did
argument.
say you had a problem with him doing it on
seems
Instagram.
like you are making.
Okay.
That, it seems like that's what you're inferring by your
No,
statement,
no,
though.
that was
no,
through
I'm
the via
saying it
text. I'm talking about
reduces your
now.
argument. Understand what
I
I'm
don't think
saying?
so.
It reduces your argument if you're gonna give Kobe Bryant kudos for making a public apology to his wife with using a vehicle such as a press conference.
I wasn't
And the
questioning the
reason why
vehicle. I
she
was
said-
questioning sincerity. It didn't seem sincere.
Got it,
wasn't.
but-
He didn't look remorseful.
But I
That's
think-
what I'm.
I
That's
think
my
what-
opinion.
Off rip as a woman, it's off rip disingenuous to use to publicly apologize to your wife
Well,
via a press conference.
It's off
And
rip
that's
to
because
cheat on your wife.
that
So
be-
all I'm saying is they
No,
didn't. He didn't look
no,
genuine.
No.
And
Like,
I
come
think-
You can't use a press
on.
conference to publicly
He's
apologize to
entitled
your
to
wife.
have that opinion
Come
that he
on.
didn't
No,
feel
you
genuine to
guys
him.
are not making no fucking sense.
He's
Nah.
You
entitled
just
to
said
having
that.
his opinion. Like,
No,
you
but
don't
I
gotta
think-
agree with you.
but I
To
think-
No,
him,
yo,
he
yo,
feels
I
like it
agree
wasn't
with that.
genuine.
Makes sense
Which is
though.
real, but
It
I
makes
think-
sense.
He don't
How?
feel like it was
Or
genuine.
at
You
the
don't have
very
to.
least-
But off
you
rip
don't
is
have
not
to.
genuine to publicly apologize via a press
And
conference.
I think what Raine
That's
wants you
not
to do
genuine.
is acknowledge what she's saying there, because I
I
think
do.
the reality is, like with press conferences, most of the time it is your employer that's requiring you. They're the one
It's a
who's
requirement.
buying the airtime,
And what I'm
funding
saying
the airtime and
is-
things of that nature. So if like one of the basis of your arguments around his sincerity, if your only argument was around the form that it was done,
That was my primary. That was the whole point of
He
bringing
wasn't
that
saying
correlation.
it was more sincere because it was a press conference. He was saying the way he
The
looked,
way- yeah.
the way he physically
That's
looked.
what I
Kobe
said.
Bryant looked more genuine than Offset.
Yeah.
He is entitled to have that opinion.
That's
Whether
what I
you
was trying
agree
to
or
say.
disagree, there's nothing like that. That's nothing that can be proved by facts.
I
That's
have
an
to go
opinion.
watch it.
I think his
Yeah.
face.
Kobe
I
Bryant
think this
lovers.
person. No.
Technically, no,
I
I'm not.
didn't
I'm
even
not on
say that.
record.
I thought that was better. I was just getting the facts right. He was not apologizing for rape. No, I didn't. He's not even saying that because of the press conference.
Did
It was
you
better.
not
He said the
agree
way
that
they looked.
Kobe
No.
Bryant was sincere via the press conference?
No, he was saying.
I'm asking you.
No,
So
because
you-
that's
so-
not what
no,
he
so
was
answer the
saying.
question.
He was
No,
saying
no,
the
no, I
way
don't
he
need an
looked.
interpretation.
You're
I'm
saying
asking
because
you.
of the no, and I said no.
So he-
for the fifth time.
said
No,
no
it's
what?
not sincere because of the press conference.
No.
No, it's not.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Because you're assuming. When you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. I'm asking you. What do you think Kobe Bryant was sincere?
It's sincere as far as what? His apology to his wife? Yeah, I think it was sincere, but I don't think you get more brownie points because you have a press conference
But
in
that's
the
not
same
what I'm
situation
saying.
as
I'm saying you get less points. In my opinion, you get less points.
I don't think
And they-
either or serves to your personal relationship with your wife. You have a private personal relationship with your wife. I don't think a press conference or an IG video does anything to repair that. I think Kobe Bryant's situation warranted a press conference because he was being charged for rape and was on trial for his life. He could have gone to jail for life and got a life sentence. So that warranted a press conference.
But I think
infidelity is way different.
Infidelity is different, but I think what we're all not recognizing is that all of the elements surrounding that infidelity is why we are saying it warranted like a public apology.
I don't think either one of them was worth nothing.
If he still committed infidelity. Kobe Bryant was in fact in the room with that woman.
He was being charged for rape.
Irrelevant. He was committing infidelity. He was being a cheater.
If he was
in the room with the woman. He just didn't rape her. He was going to have sex with her, right or wrong.
And if there's no rape charge, I don't think he needed it.
Sex with her, right or wrong.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is the difference? The only difference is that
for
she
the
accused him of
10th
force.
time, there is a rape charge, and that shit is
but
very
it's still
serious.
So if that's the case, he should have only addressed the rape charge if y'all feel it.
And again, I don't think that goes towards nothing to his apology.
For a rape charge.
That's not worth nothing to me. I
Why
didn't say that.
are you apologizing to your wife for a rape charge?
So
I don't think
the
that's worth
question.
nothing either.
No. So here's what we can do, right?
No, answer the question.
Answer the question because we're deferring.
Why are you apologizing to your wife if it was a rape charge? You're apologizing for infidelity, correct? Right or wrong?
Yes, that's what we
So
said.
it's the same fucking thing.
Okay.
Okay, that was my point. Thank you. You conceded.
That's what Kobe did.
And
Nobody's conceding. I said neither
no,
one of them. I said neither one of them is worth nothing. I don't think either one of them are worth nothing as far as repairing your relationship with your wife.
It never was about worth to me.
About
y'all made it about worth.
Accountability.
It's about accountability.
No.
and responsibility.
Let me just say this.
Kobe
All I said was
No,
it
you
was
already
more
conceded.
sincere.
I don't even care.
I didn't
You
concede.
concede. No, you conceded to the fact that it was. He
Tell
apologized
somebody
to
to
his wife.
concede.
No, when you go listen to it, you'll catch up. You're acting real fucking slow today.
Nah,
And
not
you
at
just
all.
Anytime somebody disagrees with you, they got to be
No.
slow or dumb or got to check
No,
facts. Like it's okay for
it's not-
somebody
no,
to
'cause
not
you
have the same
Read
opinion
the
as
whole.
you, man.
It is okay.
It's all
But it's
right.
not about that. That's your interpretation. And a lot of times our arguments before were because you misinterpreted. Just in this whole conversation, you again misinterpreted. When you rewatch it, you'll see what he conceded to is the fact that regardless of rape, he apologized for infidelity. That was
Which is the same
Which is
thing
the same
that
thing.
Offset
So
did.
actually,
You don't apologize to your wife for raping another
And
woman.
he was saying to his
That's
eye,
it. That's
Kobe
it,
Bryant
though.
looked more
And
genuine
and I
than
think
was
we can
saying.
agree
That's
that-
what the
and
whole
I
mention
think
of
we
Kobe
can see it,
Bryant
though.
was.
And I think we can
Come
agree that
on, what
none
y'all
of us can
arguing
evaluate.
if y'all didn't see it?
I think we can agree that none of us can speak to like what either Offset nor what's his name, Kobe Bryant was
They both
experiencing.
apologized for
They
infidelity.
both apologized.
And
but
he's
I
saying
think-
That
he
wasn't my
feels like
point.
one
But
was
you're
more
speaking-
sincere than
but
the
you're
other, the
speaking-
way he looked.
But he's trying to judge sincerity, and that is not something that can be evaluated because, like,
In his opinion, you can judge someone's
think
faith. If I say,
I
yo,
hear you,
I'm
and I
sorry.
can tell you that.
Yo, I'm sorry.
I hear
this shit
you,
is
and
whack.
I can say that according to the metrics that you're using, I don't stand firm by
Everything
your opinion.
I said
That's
that
cool.
you refuted.
I
didn't
hear
say
that.
You didn't refute
Cool.
what I was saying. You refuted your interpretation. I want to be clear.
Y'all
Well, let me
jump-
just- let me
y'all
just-
are
let
not
me
You
just-
don't watch it back. Please watch it back. When you responded to what I said, you didn't respond to what I said. You responded to what you thought I said, and what you thought I said is not what I said.
Y'all
Be
responded
clear.
to what you thought he said.
No, I did
y'all
not.
Never,
No,
he
I
told
did
y'all
not.
5 times. What
No,
did
I
you
did
say?
not.
What
All
did
I
you say?
said was, this is what I said.
He did not
man.
look
What
sincere.
did you say?
But I think
In
what
his
we,
opinion,
they-
he
they-
felt what's the name looked
they-
more sincere than the other.
And
And y'all
Exactly.
arguing it and
No,
didn't
we're
even
not.
see
This
it.
is what I'm trying to say about listening.
No, but-
about listening.
but-
I cannot talk. See, unlike y'all, I don't speak on what I didn't see. I didn't see that video, so I can't have an opinion on what I did not see. All I said was that they both were they both were cheaters. So he apologized to his wife via a press conference because he fucking cheated. That's it.
So we,
And I
what
think
we
you're
tend-
being steadfast on disagreeing.
Very
on thinking that
steadfast.
So
No,
disagreeing
go
when
ahead.
I'm not disagreeing. My personal standpoint is, like, you can't subjectively say whether or not, or objectively say whether or not one of them is sincere or not, because that's not something that he can measure, right? That's
He
cool
said
and all.
to his eye
that's
and
not the
his
argument.
opinion.
That
He
wasn't
gave
the
his
argument.
opinion
But I'm
about
not even
that.
feeding into that
Go ahead, Q.
argument. I'm not feeding into that argument at all. That he can have that opinion. and I'm not going to contest that opinion. I'm just going to say you can't measure that moving along. And that's all I said. I didn't disagree with that. I just said you can't measure that.
No one disagreed with
moving
that.
along. What the argument is that if something happens publicly, should it be addressed publicly? Is a person responsible, like accountable,
and
like should they be held accountable to doing
and y'all were
so?
cool
That's
with
the argument
him
that's being
publicly
made.
apologizing to his wife.
Because and what you shared is
kills
that
your
of
argument.
course he was addressing it because it was a rape charge. Yes, because it was a rape charge. Does that
He
mean
didn't
should have
apologize
addressed
to
it
his wife.
because he was accountable to doing so? Yes, but he was apologizing to his wife. He
Wrong.
was doing both.
No, because
He was doing two
apologizing for
things.
rape implies that you did it. So that's why I wanted to
Make
firmly
it clear.
establish that he
But
was
we
not
knew that.
apologizing
That's
for
common
rape.
sense to us. We knew that.
Yes.
You just said didn't he get found guilty?
Sorry,
Then
No,
you
no,
get
no,
sense.
no,
Like
no,
people
no,
don't know.
Come on, keep up.
Let's
We
put
knew that he was not apologizing to his wife for rape. It wasn't
Because
about rape. It was about apologizing to your wife, right or wrong.
And I
Can
didn't
you
think that
agree?
was. I
Can
didn't
you
think
agree?
that made his apology more genuine
But
either.
what
We
Right,
didn't
but
say
what
that
Raine-
though.
So,
I
I'm
didn't
not-
say that.
That's
That's what
not
I'm trying
the
to say.
argument that she's
I did not
making.
say that. You don't fucking listen.
The
I didn't
argument
say that.
she is making is that Kobe essentially did the same thing that Offset did in apologizing for being in a
So, and I'm not
she
saying
shouldn't
that
have
that's good either. So what are
Okay,
y'all
so let's move
saying?
on, please.
I never
move
said
on.
that
That's
that
the
shit was
point,
cool
but
that he
you started
did.
rebutting-
It wasn't
you
about-
started
you
rebutting
started
something
rebut-
that she wasn't. You started
It's-
rebutting a statement that
What
she
you
didn't make.
always do.
Y'all
Which is
started
what she said.
rebutting.
So the
No,
thing-
go
No,
watch the
actually-
tape. Go
So the
watch
thing
the
is
tape.
this.
Well,
So
we
here's
can.
here's the thing, right?
Go
We
watch the
we tend to do this, right? We all collectively tend to do this, right? So when one person makes a statement, we take a piece from that statement and then
No,
we
y'all
turn it.
do that.
No. Because here's what I did. All I said
don't
was.
do that.
All I said was, in comparison to sincerity and showing remorse, Kobe Bryant showed that he was actually. Let me finish. He was actually remorseful and was hurt by what he did.
In your
I
opinion.
did not exactly.
So then my common sense. No, we're going back. We're doing it together.
No,
we're doing it together. So
so-
you said that. So my train of thought. I
And
want you to
Offset.
get where I'm at.
Okay.
So my train of thought was okay because I didn't see it. I'm not speaking to what I didn't see. So cool. So then I asked y'all, what was the vehicle in which he apologized to his wife? And you said it was a press conference.
Okay.
So train of thought based on the topic, right? Offset used Instagram to publicly apologize to his wife. So train of thought based on your perspective, right? You have a two-part perspective. One is that he was disingenuous. The other is that you didn't respect the fact that he did it on Instagram. It was a two-part perspective.
Yeah. I
So
thought it was-
all I
yeah.
said, common sense now to me
Okay.
is, oh, so it's okay, because in my mind, apologizing to your wife via a press conference is extremely disingenuous. Off rip. That is all I said. That is the disagreement because it speaks to your argument. Period. That is it. I didn't see it, so I can't say whether he was sincere or not.
But that was-
I'm saying that apology through a press conference is not sincere off rip.
And I was just speaking to the sincerity and how they looked. I wasn't worried about any parts of that argument.
Right,
I was just
but
focusing
that's
on that.
like-
You feel what I'm
What you're
saying?
not
That was it.
understanding is common sense on our part.
No, and I
is
get that.
It kind of breaks down your argument because if he uses the vehicle of a press conference off rip on the surface without even seeing it, that does not hold more weight. And it wasn't. This is speaking to now his thing. It was never about holding more weight. He's saying that they're equally. They don't hold weight. I'm saying, according to your argument, a press conference is essentially equal, if not worse, than Offset publicly apologizing to his wife via Instagram. A press conference or rip holds no weight.
And I can dig that.
That's it.
I'm just comparing on how they were conveying their feelings and what they did.
Right,
And
but
one was more sincere, no matter the platform or the vehicle.
No, but the
One-
platform and vehicle
but
matters according to your. You had
no.
when we started the show, Omar. You had a two-part argument. The first part was that you had an issue, as well. He agreed with you that y'all both had an issue. You kept saying via Instagram. When you watch it back, you had a two-part issue.
Yeah,
Okay,
And then
so the vehicle does matter.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Okay.
It didn't matter. I was just saying what mattered to me was how he conveyed it.
What
And
mattered to
that was
you,
the main
but
thing.
That
was my main thing.
All right, I get the main thing,
Yeah.
but this is debating 101. You have to prove your point. And so when I debate, I refute the topic. The topic was the vehicle and being disingenuous. I can't speak to him being insincere because I didn't see Kobe Bryant.
So I spoke to that part.
Right,
as far as the
and so
first
that's
part.
cool.
Okay.
But all I'm telling you is that off rip, if you know about press conferences, he was required to do that. So that does not hold weight. That does not hold more weight than off rip. He can seem more sincere via a press
You're
conference.
not
because
required to do press conferences. You can call your own press conferences.
No, I'm saying that it's a part of business. Businesses hold, when you're a public
I get that because
figure,
essentially
you
Kobe
call
Bryant
a
is a
press
brand.
conference.
He's
It's a brand.
I got that. But at the same time, just like how somebody, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand your point. You can hold a press conference about something you did and you're apologizing for, and people they may not see the sincerity in your
because
approach.
you're supposed to be there
But
doing
here's
that.
the thing. You're supposed, but at the same time, emotions come out, and I feel like that was his vulnerable moment. Just like how you said to me via text,
so
that was his vulnerable moment. So
cool.
I agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not about that. See, the reason why I won't let it go is because I want y'all to understand that you have to prove your point. So my response was just was breaking down your argument. You cannot say that he's seen more genuine in a press conference when a press conference actually holds less weight than a man going to Instagram to publicly apologize to his wife.
So you know what? Here you go. So I'll take part as far as like making like the platform my main argument, because that wasn't my main argument. My main argument was the fact that it didn't come up
physically
it
looked.
was how it
The
looked.
way to
That
your
was how
eye, you looking at it. Like,
did McCray just take responsibility?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because
Don't
do that. I'm very.
I think this is the first time on the show that I've heard
That's
you
not
say
true.
I will.
No,
Okay, and
last
I'll
show-
go back and review.
Yeah,
and
because
if
last
I'm incorrect,
show we can.
I would make a
told
public
you.
apology about that.
You should now, because I said last time. You know what? You made
It's
a
important
point.
for him now that I make a public apology.
No, you
I
don't have
will.
to, but
I'm
you
going to go
can-
back and review. And if
Yo,
you have,
yeah.
I'm going to come and I'm going to make a public statement against my wrongdoings because I want you to understand
I
and
don't need no public
I would like
apology.
to be accountable to my actions.
Listen.
Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag just saying. Hashtag no public apologies over here. I'm good on that. You can call me. I'll pick up the phone. I won't do no Cardi B shit.
Let's go.
I'll do it in the chat
That's
then.
not what this is, man.
What is it?
I respect that. That's not the same context. I feel like
Come
you
on.
get into it with people online, and yes, sometimes the response is, "You have my number. Why didn't you call me?" I don't look at this like that. And like you said, we can agree to disagree. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's what you guys are reducing it to, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I just think honestly, it's just like them. They're both young, and this is what the generation. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? This is how they handle stuff.
No, but I
via
think
social media.
if
Because
I
he
can
could have
share-
easily. I mean, just like we have millions of people who think what he did was cool.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies thought, oh my God, a man is pouring his soul out to his woman or whatever. And there's a million other people who think that was kind of like, okay, dude, what you did was dumb. That's it. I'm not buying that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the discourse. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm just adding in to say I don't think that that's the big argument. I think the
That was
argument
mine.
is-
That was mine.
No,
That was
and
mine.
I get it, and I
was
completely
mine.
understand. I completely understand your argument. I think the argument or the thing that we were looking to have you see is that like public figures should be responsible for certain actions, especially if like the form of betrayal that they impose upon someone is done publicly. Just like
And that's
if it
what you
is-
guys are not getting. So let's go on to the next topic. Let's talk about the King of R&B, because I want to put that out there. I want to put out there that R. Kelly being acknowledged this week, it really fucking bothers me.
Why?
He's a fucking pedophile.
pedophile.
He's been a pedophile for years. And the fact that Tank can actually post this, he said, I don't care about the accusations. R. Kelly is the king of R&B. That's whack,
that's
yo.
crazy. That is
That's
like,
exactly where you see. I couldn't
what are
articulate
you
the
talking about,
parallel, but it's the same thing. You celebrate this. You're celebrating a man that has terrorized women for like 20 years.
So maybe his wording was kind of fucked up.
Come on,
Like
man.
maybe his
Kelly's
wording.
A rapist,
no,
man.
he's
Wording?
a rapist. He's a rapist.
Yeah,
No, he's
nobody's
a
in the category.
pedophile.
He's a pedophile.
Not
He's
a
a pedophile.
rapist.
That's
He's a pedophile.
statutory
the women
rape.
are some of
That's
them.
Yeah.
statutory rape.
Right.
That's rape. He's a
That's-
rapist. Nobody is a rapist.
But you gotta
Offset's not a rapist.
separate.
Kobe Bryant's not a rapist.
Yeah.
You
It's
have
two
to
different things.
separate.
He's in the class
You
by
have to
himself.
separate heinous crimes
but
from legacy,
regardless-
yo. You cannot
Infidelity ain't
celebrate.
rape,
Now,
But
talking about that. I'm not going back to that.
However, he was in a position. He
You're
was
not
in a
getting the parallel.
position. He was in a position to be questioned about
I get
whether or
slice of
not he
pizza?
raped or not. Yeah, come on, man.
Is that plain? Is that veggie?
That's pepperoni and sausage.
Oh.
You can,
This
you
one is
can pick the
pepperoni and
pepperoni.
olive, and this
Wine.
one is the thin. This is
Well,
thin.
I'm out, man.
Slice.
That nigga's tripping.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
That was by
That's
accident.
swine.
The box.
Oh, you guys aren't swine eaters?
Well, I don't
I know
dine
you're
on
not
that
me. I
swine.
can't right
That's
now.
real.
Nah,
Sorry, I
fucks
ain't
with
there
pepperoni,
yet.
but I'm good.
I had 4
No,
pieces
I
of bacon
still,
this morning.
I mean, I'm not eating meat right now.
Bacon
so.
will fuck my stomach
We
up.
just won't put this on YouTube.
So the thing is, with like, regardless of whether or not Kobe was guilty or not, the fact that he was in that position, he was responsible for addressing it publicly. Because
That's
of
what I
all
said.
people- no, but just a while ago,
I
just
said
a while ago.
I said he
you
needed
said-
a press
you said-
conference
and you just
because
said-
of rape.
Yep, and exactly. Regardless,
No, but it was about apologizing to his wife. It was like, get off it.
There are different situations because what I'm saying is his situation warranted a press conference because rape was involved, and then you cannot apologize for rape because then that implies that you did it. So that it's a different situation.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And I didn't-
I'm going by y'all. Y'all are giving the information. I don't remember. I remember the case. I don't remember the
All
press
he was
conference.
saying was the way he looked. I wasn't saying making
No,
a press
but I
conference is more
asked y'all
genuine than an
particular-
IG video. I think that both of them was bullshit. What I was saying, but
Did
I think
he
it
apologize
warranted.
to his wife?
Yeah.
So do you understand the parallel?
No.
Okay, so that's fine.
I don't see the parallel between rape accusations and infidelity.
It's not-
It's
stop
two
relegating it
different
to rape.
situations.
Stop
That's
relegating
what
it just
warranted the press conference.
However,
had Kobe
but what
Bryant,
you also
had Kobe
just
Bryant
said-
just cheated on his wife, he would not have needed a press conference.
I don't know if that's
so
necessarily
that's what I'm
the
saying.
case.
That would be mad corny, bro. I don't want to see no press conference because you cheated on your wife. Handle that shit in your private life.
That's based off of what you want
Rape
to
is
see.
a total different situation. Like that's murderer, rape. Like there are only two. That's crazy. You gotta address this, bro.
Can we just
Publicly.
go back to the King
Rape
of
and
R&B,
infidelity
man?
is wild crazy, and it's like King of R&B. Rape. R. Kelly's a rapist. Like he's not in the same class as nobody else, man.
This week, R. Kelly's name was celebrated this week. I look at that as a celebration.
Yes,
Him
that's
being
bullshit.
acknowledged-
You
that's
can't
whack,
celebrate
exactly.
a rapist. I agree 1,000%. But
And
what
I
I'm
don't
saying is we
respect
can't put
other
other people
people.
in the category with him, with rapists, man.
We're not putting
Rape
that,
is worse
But
though.
the
than
thing
murder,
is,
man.
Kobe was in that category. It's just that he happened to be proven innocent. So like
Accusations don't mean nothing. As black men
No,
in this
I mean,
country, we could be accused of
but the
anything.
reality
Both
is,
of us
but you
fit
were
the
accused.
description
Okay,
of
that's
1,000
another
crimes.
topic.
So like that's not,
Yeah, but see,
I'm not gonna hold
the reason
nobody
why- see,
accountable
but
for
see,
that.
but
Anybody
that-
could be
but see,
accused of
that's-
anything.
it's-
But
that
regardless,
right there is
before
a-
you
I
knew
could
whether or
accuse
not he
bo-
was innocent, before you knew he was innocent,
So
he
I could
had
accuse both of
he
y'all of
had a
rape right now, but that
responsibility.
don't mean shit. That's bullshit.
No, but see,
And
the
if the
accusation means
accusation
nothing
bullshit,
if you
accusation
didn't
though,
stood
do it.
firm,
That's
if the
easier
accusation
said.
stood firm, if the accusation stood firm, you would still want us to make a public statement about it until the point we were
And-
proven innocent.
But you
That-
should not,
that-
the rest of your life, you should not be labeled as
But here's the
rapist. You're
thing.
not in the category
but no
as
one
no
is,
rapist
no one
or
is
nothing.
labeling him as a rapist.
You're trying to put him in the
No, you're
category
creating
with
a
a
narrative.
rapist.
You created that narrative.
You did
I didn't
that.
You created that narrative.
King of R&B.
Yeah, King of R&B. And like I said, even though R. Kelly may technically be because there are multiple kings, guys. Like, I don't know why they keep doing this. With every genre of music, there are multiple kings. If you have successfully, and consistently had hits, people make babies to your music, you have longevity, you've created hits for other people, you are a king. R. Kelly, by default, is a king. But the fact that he was mentioned and the fact that people even said dumb things like, I
Shout
don't
out to
care about
Simba.
the accusations, it doesn't take away from. And even one of my best friends actually said that. And that really, pissed me off. The fact that people can separate, and this is why I
The
brought up
music from
FAB.
the-
I can't do it. And I don't think that it's fair to do it when you commit heinous crimes. It's not cool. It's not fair to do it. It's not fair. And this is why, again, and I want to talk about it, I'm just saying this is why acknowledgement is necessary. Because I need to know whether you committed the crime or not. You could be that. But I need to know that you that you are going to acknowledge that this is pending. If you ignore it, that's extremely suspect to ignore something like that. I can't respect that. And that's all I'm saying. with R. Kelly being mentioned, he was in fact celebrated. People had no problem tagging him in the argument, even though they know he's a fucking pedophile.
Yep.
I got a problem with that.
Just like you sat down here and defended Fabulous. When
I
he
ain't
clearly
defend
like,
him.
yes, you did.
I ain't defend
Yes,
him.
you did.
I wasn't
Most
defending
men
him.
have
You did.
defended Fabulous.
No, what I was saying is I'm not ready to say that the man is like a serial abuser because of a one-time situation.
Not serial, but he didn't
Like, you know what I'm
acknowledge
saying?
it. And I'm saying maybe
I don't think he has a
that
responsibility to acknowledge it to me. Like
He
I'm,
does
I'm
have.
a-
See, that's where
I'm like, I'm
now that we
And
can agree
that's
and
where our
disagree.
problem
That's our
starts.
problem.
Like,
That's
I'm
That's
not-
where our
our problem.
problem starts.
That was the whole
That's
issue.
You know what's
If I can
crazy?
say-
Especially
I-
as a woman
Let
fan.
me.
to the
I'm
wife.
gonna make a very strong statement.
Go ahead.
It is statements like that that's allowing for Cyntoia Brown to still be in jail. It is statements like that that makes it okay for men to do the things that they do, and us like give it a tap on the shoulder or whatever the fuck we do, and people like Cyntoia Brown still remain in jail. And I really hope that one day you guys assume and understand like that is very similar to why it is okay for like that is very similar to a white person sitting down here and saying like, oh, Trump doesn't have to apologize to me for saying nigger. Like if that were the case, like you would be that white person who's
That's a
like,
slippery
saying
slope
that.
trying to compare a
And
rapper
you can
to
say
the
that,
president
and you can
of
say
the
that,
United
you
States.
can say
Like,
that.
they
They're
don't
two
have the
public
same
figures,
level of
and
and
responsibility.
this is
Titles
also
don't
when
matter.
I challenge you on thinking that the president of the United States is the only one with reach. This is why I make statements about like stop waiting on somebody else to change the fucking world when like it's all within the power of your hands.
All I'm saying
Like,
is, I don't
so
know.
he does have a responsibility as an artist. If I'm buying your fucking music and I'm supporting you, you have a responsibility to me who is supporting you. And yes, of course, I can make the choice to decide not to. However,
Which I have.
I'm still
I
gonna
don't
make
fuck
the
with Fab
statement
like that
and
no
say that like it is statements like that that perpetuates the fuckery that causes people like Cyntoia Brown to still be in jail. So when y'all sit down here and want to say free Cyntoia, think about what you can do to disrupt the narrative around why she's still in jail. Thanks.
I don't think Fabulous coming on IG and doing
Not on IG.
apology videos making Cyntoia Brown get released, but
No,
yeah,
it's
That's not the statement that
that's
I
not
made.
What she's saying.
Nah,
That's what I'm
Again, you
trying to
missed the
say.
point. You completely missed what I said.
The
It
fact
had
that
nothing to do with Fabulous.
the
It
fact
had
that
everything to do with
Fabulous-
you.
The fact that Fabulous has not. I bring up Fab because I am or was a really big Fab fan, and I cannot be a grown woman and a conscious woman and be comfortable with him having that pending charge and not acknowledging it. I don't know who his PR people are, but whoever told him that he didn't have to address his fans is a fucking
We
fool.
don't know.
But we
Could
also
be his
have to
wife.
He
consider.
has an open charge.
I feel you, but we also have to consider this too, though, right? Because sometimes we tend to be we get invested in the artists that we like, right? But just hear me out, right? Because I think with Fabulous, and you made this point too earlier, Carnegie, I feel like sometimes your family, the request of your family outweighs the request of the fans.
That's an
Always.
assumption.
Always.
You're right. It is an assumption. We don't know. What we're doing right now. We're speculating. We're talking shit. We're giving our opinions.
No.
We don't know. We
It's
don't
an
know.
assumption to
We
say
don't
she
know.
wants it.
We don't know the conversation he had with Emily. We don't know the ramifications of Offset and Cardi B. What we do on this platform, we critique the shit. We give our opinion. We give
And
our
I'm
interpretation.
only addressing what we know. I
And-
only address facts.
but
the facts are that he has a charge. The
And you're
facts are
right.
that a lot of men assumed when they didn't hear anything, they thought that it was bullshit. But the facts are the charge is still there.
Yeah, that's a
the facts are
fact.
that he still has to go to court for this charge. The facts are that no police in the state of the United States is going to put a charge or put that you knocked a woman's teeth out if you didn't fucking do it.
But
the facts
go ahead.
are that everybody wants a picture of her. They wanted a picture of it. The facts are, what woman is gonna fucking do a selfie of her fucking missing teeth? Nobody. The facts are that this is what it's out there.
If
the
that
facts
really
are,
happened, then there gotta be a
if
picture
it
though
really
for the
happened,
evidence.
why
If that really
would
happened,
she?
there gotta be
All
photo
right, but
evidence.
here's another
Eventually,
fact.
just like how
But here-
Rihanna's picture
exactly.
came out, it
Here's-
will out.
No,
It will.
here's another fact though. Another fact though is that
It didn't stop
but
her from getting
Rihanna
back
did
with
not
him, though.
take the picture of herself. The
police, they
Rihanna
have to.
picture
Oh, yeah.
got
Yeah.
leaked.
Yeah.
Okay, so the facts are that at the end of the day, regardless of anything, you have a female following, you are charged with domestic violence, and you have an open case.
But there's
ultimately it'll be public record.
Ultimately,
it'll be public record.
It
so
is
if
public
it really
record.
happened, we'll see.
It's
so
public record.
So we'll be
He's still facing the charge.
No. What I'm saying is all of the evidence will be available to the public eventually. Yeah. So if her teeth were really knocked out, we will eventually get to see the pictures. And what I'm saying is we don't know all the information. We don't know her wishes. We don't really know what happened. So I'm not going to take one situation and condemn this man when for 20 years he's never had anything outside of this
sexist
in this man.
Patriarchy.
That's not sexist.
It is.
Patriarchy.
It is.
You don't see it as
when Left Eye burned down the house, I didn't say, yo, she was a fucking arsonist. We need to lock her the fuck up.
But she was.
But what I'm saying, I didn't say she was going to be a serial arsonist and we need to lock her away and she needs to do other. One situation happened.
She reacted like most women do.
I didn't condemn her mad crazily. I didn't condemn her mad crazily. Y'all trying to make it seem like I'm just trying to give a man an excuse. I'll give anybody an excuse. You do one thing one time, I'm not going to condemn you and make you this put this label on you, especially when you have no history of that.
Let's not. No one's
condemning him.
Let's not say that.
No history
but
of
no
that.
one's condemning him. We're saying that he did not acknowledge his female following.
We don't
as
know.
A grown. We don't know what.
We don't know why. The wishes of
men
his.
hurt my feelings sometimes. Men hurt my feelings sometimes. Let's not act like there's not a high population of men who are abusing women. Stop fronting like y'all don't know that.
I never said that.
Come on,
whether or not he's doing it or not.
You say it. You did.
I just said there's not. There's nobody. You just said don't say that. So does that?
No, I said let's not act like it. That's not what I said. I said let's not act like it.
So he has the charge. That's why she's saying it. She's saying that at the end of the day, he has the charge. He is charged with assault. Are you ignoring that?
We're not ignoring that.
But you're saying let's not condemn him because he is. I think there's enough evidence.
What are you saying?
All I'm saying is.
And I ain't quite sure what y'all.
Exactly. Please explain.
You know what? One thing that I do know about y'all, y'all don't speak against men like being violent to women. Like you're not. You don't. No, you don't. You pull me 5 fucking clips of y'all speaking against men in violence, and then I will sit down here and publicly apologize.
Play me one clip of me ever condoning that shit. Like,
and just like I would say to a white person who tells me that this world
condones it. Being passive about it.
I better not ever hear y'all telling me shit about white people needing to disrupt race culture. Never. Because if you can see that, you can't see men needing to disrupt.
Not addressing
like
the fact that he has this charge.
You guys are misunderstanding.
It's passive.
What I'm saying is, in any situation, I don't think you owe the public an apology.
Nah, because I think what I'm tired of, we go to this extreme sexism, patriarchy. It's not about that. We're not talking. First off, I have to disagree with you, Q. We've been on record on multiple shows saying how we are not advocates for women being beaten. I think I said it on the last episode.
Saying that and showing that through your actions and through the subsequent comments that you say are two different things. It'll be it's nice to tell me something that I want to fucking hear.
Well,
but when your actions and the other shit that you have to say don't support that, then I can't support like that shit that you got to say.
So let me just finish this thought.
And you of all the people that I know. Like, you should know better, like, than to come to me because you be coming to me with that shit. Like, if I were to make a mistake at school, you'd be like, come, like, show me different. So come on now.
But,
like, show me different.
But I need to listen for understanding. Listening. That's the key.
Okay.
Right? All I was trying to say was that we don't know. We don't know. Maybe she told him, don't do that. Don't go into the public. We're not please. Because y'all going to think
maybe the girl who...
Can I finish my thought? Maybe because we don't know. Oh, is he dead wrong? He's dead fucking wrong. Keep your hands to yourself. You should never put your hands on a woman. You should never put your hands on a woman. Maybe you should say it too. You should never put your hands on a woman. No, because this is where we are right now. We don't condone that. We don't condone that. But all I'm saying is we're sitting here and we know the facts. We know the facts. But we have to also be acknowledge that we may not know other things that may have happened behind closed doors. And that's probably why you may not have gotten a statement from him yet. That's all that we're saying. We're not condoning what he did.
I can acknowledge that. The reality is, like, maybe the man can't
speak
to the case, so maybe that's why he hasn't said anything, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't change the idea. It doesn't change the idea that
it's legal charges. Maybe he can't come out with anything
but he
talking
can
about
at least acknowledge that. Like, I know that there's some strong allegations against me. I am guilty or I'm innocent or whatever the case might be. Please respect like my family's privacy as I go through that. at the very least, like, I don't
Him
care
not
what the
saying
fuck y'all
anything
say.
is whack. I don't
That is
care.
like, it's not okay. It's not okay.
cool, yo.
As a public figure, it's just not okay. I don't give a fuck if he's an artist. Once you are in the public, that is something that you have to be responsible for. Period.
I don't know.
Period.
We don't know all the
Period.
details of what happened, and I'm just not willing
And to relegate it to
completely
that,
condemn
like to
one
relegate it to that,
person.
like I don't want to hear like, oh, I don't know all the details. Like the first thing I want to hear y'all say is that like that shit is wrong. And
That
like
shit
We
is
said that.
super
We-
wrong.
I
said
think
that
we
shit
start
a million
off with
times.
that.
That shit is super.
Yeah, but I think in
wrong.
y'all
You should
minds,
never
for
hit
real,
a
for
woman,
real, yeah, I
but
don't think that he really did it.
I didn't say that.
I think that I feel like
I
you
think
feel
you're
like
like
he
an
didn't really
80,
do it.
20.
No,
You think
I
that?
didn't say
Because
that.
if you
I'm
I
just
thought-
letting you
think
know
so.
how it's
how could you
received.
sit
And
there
if I'm receiving
if y'all
it that
really
way,
thought he did it, y'all cool with the fact that he didn't acknowledge it?
I don't know what the circumstances of the situation
I
were.
think a lot of
There's
times
never
I
a
don't know-
circumstance
I
where
don't
it's
know
okay to
if
knock somebody's fucking
legally-
stuff.
I don't know
Never-
if legally he can't mention it, and that will fuck up his actual case. I don't know if his family was like, yo, I
Regardless
don't
of
want
whether
you
or
to say
not those things are the
nothing.
case, you can
He
still
don't
have an
have-
opinion on whether or
right.
not he should speak out against it or not.
He don't have
And
to
what you are
explain
not
it.
doing
Legally,
is
they
stating
are
your
saying-
opinion.
If legally they are telling you can't say
Come on,
anything,
man.
y'all telling him to
Give me-
go against what the
Fuck
courts
all
are
that.
saying.
Fuck all that,
yeah,
because-
fuck that and go to
because-
jail
no, no,
to
no,
make
no.
everybody feel okay.
No, see now, and let me tell you why that's a crock of
Come
shit.
on,
Let me tell you
man.
why that's a crock of
This is
shit.
why I end up doing
Because
that.
we only just brought up the point about like maybe it's a legal thing that we only just brought that shit up. So
But
don't make
that's
it
a
seem like that's the foundation.
possibility.
That's great. Don't let it seem like it's the foundation as to why it is that you haven't stated your opinion as to whether or not like Reef yourself thinks that he should speak out against it or not. It doesn't change whether or not he's legally obligated to keep his mouth shut. It doesn't change whether or not you have an opinion about it. And you not having an opinion about
I've
it
been
is
had
a
an
big
opinion
fucking
about
deal.
It. I have an opinion about it.
But you're
since
not
the
saying
beginning.
it. But
What's
you're
your
not
opinion about
I've
it?
been
verbalizing
let
it.
that is whack. You should never
What's
hit a
your
woman.
opinion about
But we
it?
don't know what the situation was. If it was a situation where Emily hit him 100 times and Fab is taking hits, and it hit her one time and her teeth fell out, is it wrong? Yes. But is he a fucking human being? Is he entitled to that? And me, what I'm saying is somebody that I've not known
But you give
personally,
him all these
but known
excuses
in the
before
public
you just
eye
say
for
that that
20
shit is
years
wrong.
to not even, I've never seen this man raise his voice in 20 years ever. So
Nigga,
for
you're
this
not with
one
him all the
situation to
time.
come out, it's like, damn, shit sounds kind of crazy. And for him not to come out with an apology to me, I don't feel like I deserve an apology
Not
from
an
Fabulous.
apology
That's
to
his wife.
Acknowledgement.
Like-
You have to acknowledge. That's why the same way that, even though Nas didn't necessarily he acknowledged the fact that he has a public issue going on with Khalees.
He
A lot of
got
people-
charges
a
though.
lot of, not charges, but I'm saying
child support, I
I'm
think?
speaking as a female fan.
She said
Okay.
He's a public
Yeah,
figure.
you're right.
He wrote a whole dissertation on IG. A lot of people didn't really respect it. A
I
lot of
wasn't
men
that cool
didn't
with that
respect it.
either.
Right, but I'm saying I'm really only speaking as a woman who's a
Okay.
fan. It makes me feel better to hear you at least tell your truth. I gathered from what he wrote, I can surmise my own thing as far as what he did. I saw his side though. So to me, I'm comfortable with that. And I do feel, and this is where I'm very comfortable also with us agreeing to disagree, I do feel that as a public figure, you need to kind of make or have the people that support you be comfortable with who you are. But a lot of people don't care about morals. Morally, it's more of a moral thing. It's really more morally. Morally, maybe not in general, you don't have to give a fuck. But I think that if you really
But
are
just
in
be
tune-
honest and say that you don't give a fuck.
Right. Say something. It's the same thing. Not to go off, it's the same thing. I like men
If
who
I did
hold
it, I
up, hold
would.
up. I like
Man,
men who actually
homie.
own up to being sexist.
Let me,
If
if
I
I,
did it, I
can
would.
share really quickly
If
what
I
they
didn't give
what
a
they
fuck, I would
fucking
say
said.
it.
Here's what they fucking said.
Who's
And
they?
all of the reports of this story says this. All of the reports say this. Emily B happens to be in LA the same weekend that Fabulous is there. He gets upset. He punched her in her face 7 times. Then he starts looking for handguns. She calls her father and her brother over to protect her or to remove the handguns. Like, all of those facts, that don't show me, like, damn, like, oh, like, it might have been a one-time thing. Like,
And
let's
those are
just attention
facts
to Chris
because
Brown.
TMZ is reporting it and all this shit is
But
reporting it.
TMZ is not the only person that's reporting it. But what's
because-
funny, but what is
so
funny,
because
what is
one
funny,
piece of information
what
gets
is
out,
funny-
it can be like, you wasn't there.
but what's funny is that you can sit down here and create different narratives as to why it could be. But you can't pay attention to what the fuck we do know and say, like, yep, just flat out wrong. You're sitting down here and
I've
telling me,
been said it was
be
flat out
mindful.
wrong.
But I'm letting you know that the tone in which you address it it doesn't show that you're holding this man responsible, and those are the things that perpetuate it being okay for women to be treated the way that they are. And I'm just saying that, and I'm just going to continue to call it out. And like I think at this point in time, we can agree to disagree, because I don't think we're seeing each other's sides. I think like you guys are defending fuckery. I think
no, not necessarily.
And that's fine. My opinion is that you are offending bullshit. You're defending bullshit. My opinion is that you're not responsible with the platform that you have, and you need to do better. That's my opinion.
And to that, right? To your point, Raine, you mentioned, well, both of you guys, the fact that we come off passive, and the fact that we are mentioning certain instances, like maybe this happened, we don't know this conversation, maybe this is the reason why. I can see your point as to why you think we are for the fuckery, quote unquote, right? I'm throwing up air quotes. But that's far from the case, because I'm just looking at it as, even if it was roles were reversed, if it was the woman, whatever, like either way, I would have said the same thing if the situation was the same. We don't know as far as why he hasn't come out. I do think in that regard, him putting his hands on a woman.
I think y'all are comfortable with it.
No. And for this instance, I agree with you. He should speak up, because he's like the fucking dark-skinned LL of our time. Like most of his fans are women. So I get that. I agree. Okay. I agree with that. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's kind of crazy that we haven't heard anything from him as far as acknowledging it. Maybe there was a conversation that he had with his wife, and she's saying like, nah, we don't know. That's all I'm saying.
Don't publicly apologize for knocking my teeth out. You're right. They might have had a conversation.
No, but no one wants that.
You right. I feel you. I feel
acknowledgement.
And I agree. I agree with that.
Nas didn't own what Khalees said. He told his own story. By him telling his story as a woman, being a fan of Nas, I'm comfortable with that. You're comfortable with that. I still think that. I still look at him like maybe he did certain things. I still have my own issues, but I'm like,
and he's owned that in different interviews,
right? But ownness is a part of accountability,
and
that's
I agree.
All I'm saying.
I agree.
Fab acted like nothing happened. That is not respectable, in my opinion.
And I agree with that.
That's all I was saying.
And the funny thing is, I'm on record agreeing, and you're looking at me, and then you're gonna say next show that I don't agree. So I agree with that.
Today on December 16th.
December 16th, 5:54.
Acknowledge at 5:54 p.m. that McCray acknowledged.
My point to all of that is wrong, and I don't give a fuck about your public apologies and your public. It means shit to me. You did wrong. Your wrong is wrong. Fix your relationship in private. I don't give a fuck about your press conference or your IG live or your. That means squat to me. So that's what I'm saying. Wrong is wrong. You're 1,000% wrong. You should never hit a woman. You shouldn't cheat on your wife. You shouldn't do none of that shit. But coming out to the public means absolutely squat to me.
You watch
Zero.
TV. You watch TV.
So, it's just a matter of I think it's circumstantial. I just feel
so like it means absolutely nothing to me.
I'm gonna make this final statement.
King of RnB.
I hear that, and that's real. But I think one of the things that we have to acknowledge is that people, like just human beings, we consume content in so many various forms. Television being one of them, radio, media, like whatever forms those are, right?
Yeah.
The things that are out there are the things that we're consuming and that we're having opinions on and that we're talking about with our friends, that we're talking about in this podcast and things of that nature. So, like, I understand that, like, we are moving into a world where shit is way more public, right? Where people are making decisions as to whether or not address things publicly or privately or whatever. And, like, those are debates. Those are things that are hanging relationships up. Whether or not you're going to acknowledge me publicly on Facebook. So I recognize that we're in a place where, like, it's undefined. But what I also want us to recognize is that, like, public, like, human learning is about absorbing content. And the reason why I'm going so hard about that person being responsible and addressing it in the first place is because that's something that some little girl is going to absorb. You see what I'm saying? Like, in whichever way, like, it leads me back to the Kyrie Davis experiments in 1972. Forgive me, Kyrie Davis was not the first person to do them, and she did them in the 1990s, but someone did the experiments in 1972. And this is the experiment that they did with these little kids who were sitting around choosing the black doll, the white doll, right?
Dumb.
And what we recognize is that kids as young as 5 years old are making judgments about, like, who they are and skin color based off of, like, just going through life, right? One can assume that they were watching TV, because I can only imagine that some of those little black girls, their parents were letting them know that they were smart, they was kind, and all that shit, right? Regardless, it didn't stop them from forming an opinion.
Yeah.
I say that to say that our new form of media, like, is all encompassing of this all, right? It's books, it's the shit that's happening in pop culture, it's music. all of that shit. So for everyone who is contributing to those art forms to be contributing to those art forms and not recognize the responsibility that they carry, just exercising, that is irresponsible to me. And I make this statement, and I'm going so hard because, like, regardless, I'm not saying that the man is guilty. I would want to believe that he's not. When the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing happened, like, I was devastated because I wanted to see them be, like, successful. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want him to be pegged out to be, like, I hate to see that boy look, like, be demonized to the way that he was, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think that, like, he was deserving at all. I think times have changed, and back then, like, he wasn't prepared to address it.
Why do he get a pass?
I'm not saying that he gets a pass.
Why?
I'm not saying that he gets a pass.
Is because Rihanna, and that case is young love, and I feel like Rihanna was beating him up for however long.
And whether or not that's true or not, give me a moment, 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 give me a moment.
Like, that's mad unfair for y'all to give son a pass.
You want to give me a moment? You want to give me a moment because I didn't give him a pass, and nothing that I said, and this is the thing that I'm saying. Stop creating your own fucking narratives and listen to what the fuck I am saying. I didn't give him a pass. I said I felt bad about it, and the reason why I felt bad is because he was so young and he still had so much learning to do. Mm-hmm. Fabulous is different in that he's an adult. He's older than every person in this room. So, like, I am looking at him to set a better example. Just like I need him to understand that the kids that are listening to him and that are watching his fucking videos, that are seeing this shit flash across TMZ, they're absorbing this information and internalizing it for what the fuck they need it to mean for them. Yeah. And then they're going out and acting upon it for however they received it. And he cannot take that for granted. I wasn't giving Chris Brown a pass. I'm letting you know that I don't want to sit down there and demonize or dehumanize a black man in media. Yeah. I don't want to do that to him, nor to Chris Brown, or to none of them. However, I oftentimes feel as though people are in the position to, like, wanting to be speaking for or speaking in support of these people, and they in turn don't recognize the responsibility that they have in this fucking world to speak up against the fuckery, especially when it perpetuates structural bullshit such as patriarchal like dehumanization of women. And him not addressing that with Emily B does that. And for, like, people to not acknowledge that, that's frightening to me.
That's my problem.
So Chris Brown got hit with some sexual misconduct or some shit a couple years ago, right? Again, after that, right?
Yeah, but that was proven to be false. But that was straight proven to be false with the white girl who was in his apartment with his place. And like, and if it was true, if it was true, he should have been held accountable. But it was completely false.
What I'm saying is why does one person just order? Like, I feel bad for him and so forth, but
and you know what? I didn't feel bad for him when I found out that he was accused of hitting Karrueche too.
What I'm saying is,
you see what I'm saying?
I know
patterns are patterns.
Women that hit men, and I know that a lot of
Rihanna's
women.
Mad Caribbean. I know she backhanded the fuck out of him.
I know that a certain type of woman has no problem putting their hands on women. That's not crazy. That's a fact.
Y'all wasn't standing there. You trying to put
nobody's
a fucking
justifying
stereotype
anything
on somebody and saying that because she's Caribbean,
not
she
because
hit this man.
That's not what I did say that, but it's funny how you take. It's funny how you take that snippet of the argument. I know.
I'm not defending nobody. I said wrong is wrong from everybody.
No, you said that we never seen Fab his whole entire time. You've never seen him raise his hand. We never seen Chris Brown.
I'm not going to completely demonize somebody for one
Chris
instance.
Brown
is what
was
I'm
demonized.
saying. What I'm saying is
was
wrong
Chris
is
Brown
wrong.
Not demonized?
Yes, he was.
He was demonized. He's still paying for it to this day.
I don't think that he should have been demonized for one situation.
And I think
his
situation was different because he was a child and Fab was a grown-ass man.
So,
Fab is a 40-year-old man. Come on, man.
Who's the real king of R&B?
Not fucking R. Kelly.
Not fucking R. Kelly.
So here's the thing, right? And I know we're gonna fucking start this shit. There
are mad kings of R&B. That's why I said, like, the same thing.
Some people might give it to Gerald or Luther.
There are kings. It's Gerald. It's Luther. It's it's a bunch of kings.
So R. Kelly's
Chris Brown is a king.
So R. Kelly's exempted because of his
heinous
he
crimes.
Can't get king status from me because king
means
like even though you're very skilled and talented, something's wrong with you. I can't support
you. So heinous crimes, drug using,
no,
and things like
drug,
that.
No,
drug using is malin and say. That's harming yourself, not other people.
I just want context.
Drug using is not heinous. Drug using is you fucking up your own life.
Okay.
I'm saying R. Kelly, we know, legitimately has terrorized women
and
for
then made
over
it into
20
songs.
years and made songs about it. And people are reducing it. Do you know what's sick about us as a people? I've been wrote off R. Kelly 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I've gotten into arguments with other black people who still celebrate R. Kelly because they love the music. What's sick about it is that people are comfortable excusing the acts.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go on record saying Tank made a post this week when last week when the whole King of R&B debate saying I don't care about the accusations. R.
That's
Kelly
sad.
is still the king.
But-
That is
okay.
fucking disgusting. And that's all that also speaks to what she just said about lack of responsibility. Not only this is why we kind of end up deeming it as patriarchy, because when you're passive about things like that, you're celebrating a man essentially using and brutalizing women,
young women, and then you hear about it and you shrug your shoulders and say, "It's not me.
But he's being
I'm
celebrated.
not doing it."
Giving him a title of king is a celebration. He's being acknowledged and celebrated, and that's wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
So,
and we have black people, again, too, even with R. Kelly. I'm not saying I think pedophilia, like I said before, it deserves death. I don't think it's a cure for it, right? But R. Kelly has never acknowledged that he even has a problem. He has never. We know he has a problem.
And we make this man seem like he's unstoppable.
We know he has
the other day,
a problem.
y'all heard about what happened the other day, right?
No.
There's a film that's being released about R. Kelly, about the women that had been assaulted by him, including his wife. And they were doing a filming here. It was less than 2 weeks ago. And someone from a call came in from Chicago, imposing a bomb threat on the place where it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like most folks are assuming that he was behind it.
Of course.
But the fact that you go through those lengths to like not show that you're like that you're a menace to society, like and like it was a topic of conversation then, and nobody talking about it now.
I just think.
And then that nigga gets called a king.
It's not cool.
Then then he's a king.
But
and it takes away from our ability to call out people who are really doing great things in society. He doesn't deserve those accolades.
But there's some people
like call Luther a king.
but
people won't acknowledge Luther because he was a homosexual, right?
Right.
So there are people who still believe that Michael Jackson is that he's a child molester.
I think he was troubled for sleeping in the bed with young people, but I think it was proven that he wasn't a molester, right?
So to that point, right?
But I think he needs to assume responsibility.
The people
for those
who accused him came out and
actions.
said that they was lying.
Yeah.
So let's not get that established.
No, and I get that.
Michael
I think
Jackson slander through this channel.
I hear that, but what I'm saying
Not
is
for me
that
either.
he's still like we cannot look at that case and not hold him responsible for
But
being.
my point.
It's just like Kobe. The reason why he apologized. I'm sorry, McCray.
That's
I'm just
right.
gonna say this and I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I won't shut the fuck up actually because like if your point was substantial, then maybe I wouldn't.
I
feel
would
the
just
need
like to
assert
get my
myself,
point across
so.
without being cut off.
Okay, so go ahead.
So all I was saying was Michael Jackson. He's labeled by many as a child molester still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I love Michael Jackson. I was one of those people those people did come out and they did refute that it never happened. However, I still think that the music, there are people we don't know. Their shit hasn't come out yet. There's a lot of people who have these vices, these things that they're doing. I just don't think like that should just negate their talent as a musician, because at once upon a time you didn't know whatever the case is, and you were bumping I Believe I Can Fly. You were bumping.
Yeah, damn right. Shit, we
Feeling
sang
on
that in
your
high
booty.
school for our fucking high school
already.
song. But
Yeah.
here's
He's
the deal, right?
Already.
Nothing
what
can
I'm
take
saying?
away your skill and talent. Nothing like that's not gonna stop him from knowing how to play a fucking guitar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you don't deserve to be put on a pedestal and acknowledged publicly for that skill, because being acknowledged publicly means that you also walk with a level of responsibility, and you cannot exercise that level of responsibility because the people who are looking up to you, you assault them.
But like
and,
you guys
and
say
it's
facts.
not safe for
but
you
like
to be
you
around
guys
them.
say
That's
facts.
had he been proven guilty.
Okay.
I think Michael Jackson, what people slapped him, like gave him a pass for, that if it was some regular like Joe Schmo from the community, people would not give a pass for, is you don't, as a grown-ass man, lay in a bed with children, period. Yeah.
Okay.
Period. If it was your kid, and fucking R. Kelly laid in the bed, you'd fuck this king of R. Kelly shit, this king of R&B shit. You'd be ready to kill him.
I think different rules apply to different people, and not to say that, I think not to say Michael Jackson is above rules, but I don't think that he is a normal person and his development was normal. From the time he was 9 years old, he was one of the most powerful people in the world. So I don't think he developed properly to the point to where those relationships were weird. Was he laying in the bed with kids? Yes. Was that weird as fuck? Yes. Did he have sex with them kids? I believe Absolutely, wholeheartedly, absolutely not. Because all the hundreds and thousands of kids that were there, you think when them accusations came out, every parent didn't back their kid down crazy, like, yo, what the fuck happened when you was over there? And nobody else came out and was like, yo, so this fucking person who had all these opportunities just did it those 2 times? Nah, and then the 2 people that accuse him come out and be like, yo, we was lying and trying to get money. Like, so yeah, it sounds crazy. Am I going to let a 40-year-old man lay in the bed with my children? Absolutely not. But I think Michael Jackson is a special case because the average 9-year-old is not the most powerful person in the music industry.
And I bring
like
up
he
that
was.
I bring up that point, meaning like you can't negate the person's genius, the person's talent. I myself, I'm not
I don't
advocate.
negate it.
I'm not
I don't
advocating.
give a fuck about it when it comes to evaluating right and wrong.
If he was fucking the kids, then all that shit is out the window. Bro.
Yeah,
Fuck
like
with you. R. Kelly was fucking the kids. That's the difference. What I'm saying.
What I'm
I ain't
saying is
Michael Jackson gets a pass if he would have did it because it's so.
Bro,
great.
I'm not taking the pass. I'm not taking the pass. All I'm saying is
Kelly was fucking the kids.
All
fucking
I'm
them kids, like.
all I'm saying is
And there's nothing even funny about that.
is R. Kelly. He's penned a lot of great songs for people. His talent
give
and
two
things
shits.
like that. My whole thing is like, if there's an R. Kelly song bumping and I know I like it, I'm not gonna like, oh man.
But it's my responsibility
I'ma
to change
keep
the
dancing
fucking
to it.
radio. Look, let me
I'ma
tell
be
y'all,
like,
the other day,
My defense, I
Kanye's
never
song
fucked
with Lil
him.
Pump came on, and like I just love the beat.
You never like R.
But
Kelly
like I gotta
songs?
change that shit because I can't support Ye right now, and like that's just my
I still bump College
responsibility.
Dropout.
I still fuck with Ye. I don't fuck with Fab.
I
responsibility.
think Ye's a little
I'm torn.
different.
I'm
than-
I'll
torn.
welcome him
Kelly,
back
I
into my
think.
Spotify, my title playlist, and that's if he means
No, Ye is kind of
title.
there. I can't front.
However.
You know, like it's at one point because he was talking so much shit, people were looking at you like crazy. You rocking Yeezys and shit. Like he did kind of tank a little bit, but I'm not mad at anyone who doesn't because I feel like also your viewpoint can change things as well. The same way. You know, when we found out, I mean, y'all don't rock New Balances, but we found out that
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi Leonard. He has
I
a
rock New Balance.
he rocks New Balance. He's
DC.
gonna be like the athlete.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
had an issue with me rocking.
It's
the
not that I had an
990s.
issue. I was just like, oh shit, like
What happened with New Balance? I missed
Yeah, I
something?
know. I was about to say I
because
missed it.
the president of New Balance endorsed Trump.
Oh,
yeah,
so I
did
can't be
see
rocking
that.
them 990s anymore.
And
did see
I
that.
like all the
I did see
990s.
that.
They got mad fire
Yeah,
colors in the
hell yeah.
990s.
Y'all know
So
that's
that's-
straight DMV Maryland, right?
Yes,
Nah,
that's
that
DMV
shit-
style.
And them
Yeah.
folks ain't
Well,
stopping
no,
that
the,
easily.
So the pressure's on you,
the
Kawhi.
DMV classics are the original joints.
And the 990s.
990s too, but the other
I
ones
had a
though,
pair of
the-
New Balance. I used
the
to love
simple
New
joints.
Balances.
Those are
New
my
Balance
favorite.
is
Those are
hard.
those are the DMV. When I think of DMV, I think of the gray. What's the number?
I
You know what I'm talking about,
I know
right?
which ones you're talking
And
about.
the blue.
890s.
I only
Dudes-
used to buy the
I went
990s,
to
so that's the
Temple
only reason.
and
I know.
dudes from DC would
Stay
rock
rocking those or some
Nautica-
K-Swiss.
Nautica
Yeah,
sweatsuits
not rocking those anymore.
and DMVs.
Mm.
I mean DMVs.
But yeah, that's what's up.
New Balance.
And then New
But
Balance.
Kawhi Leonard, let's see what he's gonna do. See if he's gonna keep wearing New Balances. But however, so King of R&B, who
So
y'all
you
think is
think
king?
R. Kelly is the king of R&B? Is what you saying?
All I'm saying is this:
He is undisputed, but I'm not
He's
claiming
talented.
that.
You
So
don't have to
I would
claim-
go with
I
the
would-
Luther.
I would go with R. Kelly because that's what I kind of.
See,
Luther
that's the
over
thing
R.
when we
Kelly.
go all the time. Like I'm not even thinking about these people even being in the conversation. When I'm thinking like when Jackhead says that, I'm not thinking about Luther Vandross. Like he ain't better than Luther Vandross.
So
like
do you
I'm
mean
thinking
Yeah, I'm
current?
not
You
thinking
mean
about that either.
present day or
yeah,
overall?
I think
Well,
like,
then
and,
Chris
and he
Brown.
said for
Present
right
day,
now.
everyone is kind of disappointing
now?
me though.
I feel you.
Right
I
now?
think
Present day,
he
I'm
meant for right
disappointed.
now.
Trey
Chris Brown,
Songz should be.
Frank Ocean,
I would
Trey
give it to Chris
Songz.
Brown over
Chris
anybody
Brown's
else.
over
think
Trey
that's who he's
Songz.
You're right.
talking
I would
about.
give it to Chris Brown over anybody else.
I
Chris
get
Brown
that.
was fire.
I can fuck with that because he's pretty much the only dude I hear R&B
But
music
there's no
from.
real substance in his R&B music.
Who?
Like to be honest, Chris Brown.
No,
like,
I don't.
he knew how to play
I
the
don't
radio
agree with
game,
that.
the stream game.
I don't agree with that.
That's
He
that's
has some
fair.
R-
That's
Classic
real. But
Substance
like,
song is popping.
I mean, nah. He
Drake
has,
is the king of R&B.
Nah.
Yes, the
funny.
fuck he is.
He has some R&B
He-
songs.
Drake is the king of R&B.
No, Chris Brown has some.
Drake is not the king of
The
R&B.
fuck he ain't.
Fuck Drake.
some people might
He
vouch
dropped
for.
some shit
Some
right
people
now,
might
that
put
shit's
Bruno
gonna be
Mars in
there.
that category, but that's controversial.
Hell no,
and
the king of
that's
pop.
controversial.
I would say pop, but right now I feel like I
Just
can't.
hold on.
I
go
can't- I
on.
couldn't-
Bruno's not soulful enough.
I
Shit,
can't-
Come on, son.
He
He's
can't
soulful.
be.
I don't
He's
know. His
soulful.
last
He's
album was pretty
soulful, but not
soulful.
soulful enough to get
Yeah.
the title of king of R&B.
But these people,
Drake.
they keep bumming it out. You have Trey Songz and them keep producing this mediocre ass shit. He about to like.
Trey
He's about to
Songz.
take. He could take. He has a strong ability to take over that genre.
Trey Songz
Drake
sucks.
Because
is
I'm
the
really
king.
yeah, and I also heard that he's a woman beater, so I'm not a fan of
Who?
his
Trey?
at all. Mm-hmm.
Heard
There are
he
too
was gay,
many
too.
instances of him like putting
And
his
he
hands
gay?
on women.
Trey gay?
We heard. I mean,
That's
rumors
a
around him. They
hashtag.
have
Oh,
pictures of him and different things of
It's a
people
hashtag.
accusing him.
Trey gay. Trey way gay.
Damn, bro.
I mean, that doesn't negate you, your sexual
Pretty
preference. I'm
much.
just saying.
Some
So
of
was
them for
Luther,
Trey
and he
gay.
made some of the
This is why I
best
fuck with
R&B.
Diddy though. Diddy
Luigi
gave
got
the
the titties.
criteria though.
when you say he gave a criteria for what?
A criteria for King of R&B.
What's the
He
criteria?
said, I
Ooh,
remember
you
he
got
did
big
an IG video, and he said that, if people make babies to your music, if you are dominating the charts,
Can't do that with R. Kelly.
People have
people have made mad babies.
to R. Kelly.
They probably
Oh,
have, but if they're still doing that shit, that's still
children
scary.
listening right now.
He's the godfather.
Right
That's
now.
real,
To
but
a
if they're
bunch of
still
kids.
doing it, it's a little like
My
ew.
mind telling me no.
I'm so mad
But
at
my
y'all.
body,
My body.
telling me yeah.
Nah, Carnegie's really hitting the notes.
For real, like
Bingo,
I'm
dog, what?
so mad you can't play 12 play in rotation anymore because you can't give that
Yo.
man that
I
much
have
type of
normally
support.
chimed
Yeah, you
in
can.
and been like a fourth, backup singer for that, but
could've.
fuck R. Kelly.
I
I
know.
wanna
I wanted
call
to be
my
like,
mom. I want to
Fuck
call
R.
my
Kelly,
mom
man.
so she can vouch for this. I never really fucked with him. Something about it, like when you're a kid and sexual things make you feel weird. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like the 12 play used to be on. I used to be like, yo, this shit makes me feel mad weird. And something about in my soul.
That
knew
told you
No,
that
the
something was
shit
right
was
with
remix
him.
something
to
about it was
Ignition is the
wrong, yo.
all-time favorite. You
This
cannot
the
get
remix to Ignition.
What?
Is
Uh-uh.
that
Sorry,
pressure?
I'm not pissing.
Mama,
Nah,
rolling
I'm
that
talking about-
body
Look at
out
you.
here
That's
every
doing
day.
it
Chappelle
like
shit
it.
is better though.
Lyric.
Chappelle shit
fuck R.
better.
Kelly.
Chappelle shit was better.
Drip, drip, drip.
On you.
Oh, I need to look that up.
I
'cause I don't
wanna
think I
pee
remember
in
too
your
much of Chappelle
food.
shit.
What?
I didn't watch it that much. I wasn't into Chappelle like that.
What?
No, we need to watch
And he's from
Chappelle
DC
High.
too.
Everybody
What?
together, like.
Yo, I was
No,
in.
we need to
I don't do
watch
that.
Hollywood Shuffle. Because I saw this
Hell
thing did
yeah,
an interview.
hell
I
yeah.
haven't seen that
Hollywood
since a
Shuffle
kid.
was
Wait,
lit.
wait,
But
wait.
Hollywood
wait.
Shuffle, we have to
Nah,
watch
Hollywood
that
Shuffle
high.
was
Wait,
fucking
wait,
lit.
Raine,
Hollywood
Raine,
Shuffle?
Reef.
What?
You said you never watched Chappelle Show?
No, I didn't say I didn't watch him consistently. I did catch a couple of episodes. I just didn't watch it consistently. So, hello, you cannot judge me. You cannot judge me. Did you watch Oliver? Did you watch Oliver? Did you watch Oliver, the Jamaican comedian?
Not consistently. We watched
Did
I
you?
don't know Oliver.
Who the fuck is
Exactly.
Oliver?
So don't come talk to me. Don't come trouble me.
I'm about to say
okay?
Oliver the
Mexican
friendly goat.
comedian
What the fuck? The goat?
My point exactly.
know,
I
man.
told
He's
y'all
like
we were
the-
raised in two different places.
Yeah.
Oliver is funny.
Who's
He's like
Oliver?
he's like the black version of
Like Jamie Foxx, not Jamie Foxx, but
Does he-
David Allen Greer on In Living Color.
Does
no,
he
but
do-
a white man. He reminds me more of like the.
Oh, that's not him. Never mind.
He's more like I can't think of the guy. He reminds me more of like
So
because that show is more like not impromptu.
It's like
but
satire.
satire.
Yeah.
It's not really a show.
Yeah.
It's different.
I'm good on that.
Look up Oliver. don't hate on Oliver.
And then you
I'm
have like
fucking with you, I'm fucking with you,
Shabata,
I'm
which is like a
fucking
You
Caribbean.
can't.
Me can't wait. Me look upon
Chappelle
it.
is the
Me look
fucking
upon it.
goat of
No, you know what? I'm gonna go
forever.
home because
No, we need to watch.
because I don't have
Hollywood
work
Shuffle.
tomorrow. Sorry, I don't have
Oh,
work this week
yeah,
at all,
fuck
guys.
You.
Oh, yay.
I'm mad at
Well,
you.
I gotta look. But all right, so King of R&B, like
I might send y'all a fucking text message at the crack of dawn just to be a jerk.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
I'll
fine.
be up.
So I don't mind that. I mean, R. Kelly. I think he's.
So
a-
yeah, no to him.
I don't,
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
R. Kelly's his shit is the best.
I feel like when I
but
think of his music, I
can't.
think of when
He's
a woman's fed
super,
up.
yeah, he's super
If I
talented to
Can
be
Turn
able to
Back the
do
Hands of Time.
to be able to go from all those different angles. Or that's what makes that man talented. What's that?
But he's a fucking
Concoction.
rape.
Concoction.
He's a
Go-
rapist.
no problem.
Raine's concoction.
Not my concoction.
That looks like a nutcracker.
It's strong as fuck. It is.
Yo,
It's
you'll
strong
be-
as fuck.
Yeah.
Let me
Fucked
down this
up
real quick.
off one of them shit. Yeah,
But
But
nah, go ahead.
like for him to be able to write a song from the angle of a woman, when a woman's fed up, but then he slept with Sparkle's niece, right? Nasty
I
ass
didn't
motherfucker.
know that.
Yeah,
That was
so
the case.
Sparkle.
That was the case.
Shit.
Y'all know
That
Sparkle, the girl that
actually
he
was
did
a
the song.
trial.
Yeah.
And he
It's
paid
her
for her.
niece
Be
that
careful.
she slept with.
Yep. Like a
That
real
he slept
uncle,
with.
a little uncle,
Nah,
little uncle.
he's sick.
was
Like,
15
there's,
at the
like,
time.
I've seen interviews with people like, yo, we come off stage from Madison Square Garden. I'm talking there are 2,000 of the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life backstage, ready to do whatever R. Kelly wants. He is going to the pimple-faced 14-year-old in the corner and taking him home. And this is like
I heard
testimony
rumors
from
of him
people like
being
who've
at-
been like this shit
in,
for
in,
years.
in
Like, he has a
Chicago,
problem.
he's in the parking
Alright, so
lots at
out-
McDonald's and all that.
Yeah.
So outside, okay, that's crazy.
He has
So
a
outside of
problem.
R. Kelly,
you
everybody.
don't hear rumors about that with people who are not pedophiles.
I would say Usher, but he kind of got low with his shit too.
Oh, no,
I think
Usher
it
is a
something,
king.
Man.
I like that, but
Usher was
I'm
my God,
I'm
man.
comfortable with Chris Brown because
Yeah.
I like
I should actually.
I like Chris Brown.
But I think we
Usher
didn't
over Chris
fairly.
Brown,
Yeah,
though.
Usher.
Nah,
Usher's
I'll take
a
Chris
beast.
Brown over Usher.
You're
Usher
bugging.
has been
Usher-
relevant since this nigga has been 16.
Hell yeah.
Hold up
Yeah.
now.
So has
He
Chris,
got
though.
years, and then let me
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then
But he's older
let's be
than
clear.
Usher.
Usher
I mean,
is
he's
still
older than Chris.
he's
As far
still
as-
singing and dancing. You see what I'm saying? He's
True.
still he's a full blown entertainer. There, like, is he
Usher over Chris,
consistent?
yo.
I feel like you. I mean, my preference is Chris Brown, but I wouldn't be mad at if you got.
No,
I
but
wouldn't be mad
Usher-
at
the
that.
other.
Usher has more of the soulful hits over Chris Brown.
Confessions, like
And
that was
more
a
depth.
like
Yeah,
that was
that shit
everybody was rocking to
Honestly,
that album. I remember there was this
that's-
one chick who went up on the stage when I was in high school and started singing the song, the confession song. I guess that I'm fortunate to have you, girl. Blah 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 blah. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And she had the whole fucking auditorium, took over the auditorium from the principal, and had everybody singing that
I
song.
mean,
Like I remember
Confessions
shit
kind of
like that.
puts him up there. I get that, but with Chris Brown, I feel like with
Chris
him,
don't have a Confessions. What's Chris's Confessions?
really,
You have to have
He
that
doesn't.
one hit, though.
He
I don't
doesn't.
think-
He
Part of the
doesn't have that
criteria.
album.
When you say, oh yeah, you mean album or
Yeah,
single?
he doesn't
Single.
have that.
Single.
Single? Yes, he
No,
does.
that was an album.
No, it
That
was.
album
Yeah,
was
I'm
what
thinking
stood
you
out.
saying
But what's
album.
Chris
yeah.
Brown's
I'm thinking album.
one song that is his go-to?
I mean, it may not be. Run it. Look at me now.
Like he was a 16-year-old.
Look at me
Hell
now.
no.
Look at me
Hell
now.
no.
Look at me now.
That was fun because of the
Deuces.
features. Like fuck all that.
Usher,
What
his
is
album was
No,
features
Deuces
too.
was
No.
popping.
My
What?
Boo, that was a feature with
I mean,
Alicia Keys.
but nobody was like, oh, Alicia Keys really made that song pop, and everybody was like, Confessions as an album is the shit. It
you
speaks
got
to
me
the whole
with
record
you
truth.
got me with singles.
What's
You can go with
comparable-
singles.
What's comparable to even Confessions?
The
the
album.
song?
Well, the
The
album is.
song.
Well, I don't.
What is
The
Chris
album, I don't
Brown's
think
go-to?
There's nothing.
He
there's
doesn't
nothing.
have. He
So-
doesn't
He doesn't have
a
an
song
album,
like
but
that.
as far as
Undisputed King would be
singles-
Usher.
I don't think it's undisputed.
Comparably speaking, I would agree.
Usher.
That's fine.
Usher over Chris. Chris is still relevant. Chris
like
is
the
still
prince,
young.
but Usher
Chris
be
is
like
still-
the
I don't
king
think
because
he's
he
the
been
king.
since like
We
95,
have to see Usher
96,
evolve.
I
bro.
wouldn't
to
say
see, like,
not,
what
Chris,
but-
he's
as long as he
like.
I
still
wouldn't
keeps
be ma-
going, he'll
Yeah.
be a king in in the
Beca-
next 5-10
But y'all
years.
said 10 minutes ago that Chris Brown was the
Until
king.
somebody, until
No,
you brought up,
Usher.
until she brought up Usher.
Usher.
Because I
Usher
forgot
over
about
Chris.
Usher.
Usher's
That
Usher's
says a
been
lot, though. Y'all
relevant.
forgot about him.
No, but Usher,
I
but
ain't forget about
but
him.
you
I
can't
didn't say
discredit
nobody
him.
yet. I was
You
waiting.
can't discredit him, and I think I don't
Nobody's
think we.
discrediting him.
Usher's
I don't think we
album
thought
that
about
he
everyone
just
who
released
fell in
is
that category.
fire.
I'm not.
You know
Listen,
what I recognize today? We're talking over each other a lot. I'm gonna be mindful and call myself out because I've been doing it consistently.
Yeah, you have.
We're back to
My
the
bad.
old.
I know.
The
And you know what's
beginning.
good? Y'all spoke too soon. Y'all spoke
Actually,
too
we did.
soon.
But our very first show, because people said this, and I said to myself, watching it, unlike most podcasts, we didn't do that at all. The very first show. Then
Yeah.
after that, it went downhill.
I mean,
But the
'cause-
very first show, we all were like,
yeah,
Oh,
we,
you
yeah,
talk.
You go ahead. Because it's the first episode. We're
we
so
didn't
polite.
say it,
Go
but
ahead,
we actually
McCray.
allow people to
I
speak.
think-
And I was like, that's stupid as shit. That don't make no fucking sense. Make that make
No,
sense,
but
B.
me and Reef always do that. We used to go back,
Yeah.
and you jinxed it.
I didn't jinx shit. You said it.
No, you said that y'all
No, it was
haven't
today.
done it.
I know. Today you said that they haven't
Yeah,
done that
you
in a
said
while.
you went back and listened.
Oh, yeah,
You
I
said you
did. My bad.
Yeah.
I did. I ain't shit.
Well,
But-
there you have it, folks.
Well, all I'm
back.
saying, I mean, it's all right. It happens.
I vote for Ursh, man.
It
Podcast
sells
shows.
more,
It happens. Yeah.
Actually, intense arguments.
Yeah. I
People
don't
forget
mind
about
that.
Gerald Levert. Like, there's a lot of people. Like, we had in order to have a thoughtful conversation about the
Barry
King of
White.
R&B. There's a lot of people that we got to take a step back and throw some people in this mix.
It also depends on who you
Because,
like.
like, to be honest,
I like
Luther
Maxwell.
supersedes. Yeah, I love me some Maxwell too.
I like Music Soul Child. I
I'll
like
still
Neo.
bump all
I
Maxwell
don't
shit.
put
Anthony
in straight
Hamilton.
R&B category.
Because he's neo soul.
He's
He
neo
created the neo
soul.
soul avenue.
So Neo
He
Soul
was one of the
is an
starters of-
R&B?
Neo soul
And
is
no.
it's a
No,
subcategory.
come
It's
on,
not
man.
R&B fully.
Oh, you fucking
I
up.
think that people make
You just
babies.
agreed with me when I said Maxwell.
People
I
make
know,
babies
but
to Maxwell,
however,
but
I
it's not
also
the same.
agreed.
Y'all got
We're having a
flip-flops.
conversation. It's not flip flopping.
Y'all
It's a
got
it's a
flip-flops under
discussion.
this
And
damn desk.
sometimes I need time in order to unearth my thoughts.
KC is the king of R&B.
Listen, sexual chocolate.
Casey
is
and
the
JoJo.
king.
And
Sexual
JoJo.
chocolate.
KC is one of the kings.
Jodeci
though.
fell
Shit, not
off
KC.
tremendously though. They could have been
KC.
great. They could have been really great.
Drugs,
Could have
man.
been.
But drugs really fucked that up.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Drugs fucked that up
Teddy
tremendously.
Pendergrass cannot sing.
Fuck
Turn 'em off!
BBD.
The New Jack
Fucking-
Swing though definitely had
Nah.
an impact on the culture.
Actually, like what's
No.
home? Teddy Riley by himself.
oh, I said Teddy Pendergrass.
Teddy
my bad.
Riley by
Teddy
himself.
Riley, I meant, not Teddy
People
Pendergrass.
can coin the king of
Thank you.
R&B because
I said
Teddy
Teddy
Riley
Sorry.
has disrupted R&B
But he can't really
time and
sing,
time
though.
again.
Who?
That well.
He's responsible for New Jack,
Teddy
New
Riley.
Jack
Yeah,
Swing.
Teddy
Yeah.
Riley,
Raphael
so that's
Sadiq
why,
of
Yeah.
of Tony Tony Tone. People can give him king of R&B.
But he's
because
Neo Soul too.
He's Neo Soul.
He is neo
But
soul.
Raphael
But before he was
Sadiq-
neo soul, he was R&B.
Come on.
Before
nah.
he was
You know
Neo
what?
Soul,
I'm
he was
off
R&B.
this. Now he's
Because
Neo
Raphael
Soul,
Sadiq
R&B.
has been
I'm
neo
off
neo
this.
soul.
Tony
He's
is
been R&B
R&B.
before
Nah, I
neo
think-
soul even
I
existed.
think
He
you
was.
could throw everybody
Tony
Neo Soul
Tony
in
is
there,
R&B.
Exactly.
Tony
Tony
is Raphael
Yeah,
Sadiq.
yeah,
That's R&B.
but still though, Raphael
he-
Sadiq now.
Raphael Sadiq is Neo Soul.
I feel like Neo Soul R&B is. I mean,
it's not one and the same.
It's
so
not.
what is R&B?
I
Rhythm
think
and
that's a fair
blues.
conversation, and I actually took a class on this at
So
Penn
Chris
State.
Brown wouldn't be relegated. Would be
Because
down to-
he's pop
he's
and
more
R&B.
pop.
Yeah.
Listen,
So we would have to evaluate based off of the categories of what is defined as R&B.
Chris Brown is more pop because of popularity, just like Michael Jackson. If you go through Michael Jackson's real catalog, he's R&B. They make him pop. But Thriller became a pop record.
And I was about to say, does being pop
Jackson,
mean you can't be R&B?
I want to be
because it just means that you're
popular.
I think that pop. Wasn't that created because of Michael Jackson? Like, there wasn't the pop category not even
Mike is the king of pop
because of like
Fuck
they created that
white
category because of him.
Mike is the king of
and
pop.
it used to be called crossover. That's what the fuck it used to be. Crossover. You cross over to the white station.
People like Mike Jackson, Prince, they're just kings.
Yeah,
they can cross over
level.
anywhere.
Like, yeah, I'm not.
None
of these people are even in the
because
conversation
people would have
with
put
Michael
Ike
Jackson.
Turner, right? Ike Turner was
like
never
Prince
really
is
R&B.
Prince is his
He was
own,
Louis
like,
Soul.
it's like,
Prince.
I don't think none of these people are in the conversation with
Prince
them.
is like,
like there's Prince, Michael Jackson, like they can
everybody
cross
else.
over. Yeah.
But
Mike, I look at the king as a king of pop.
Honorable
Prince
mention
is more
to
like
Nancy
the
Wilson.
king of.
Honorable mention.
It's
Nancy
hard to
Wilson.
put a
Rest in
title
peace.
on it.
Rest in peace.
It's too much. It's too much. It's all the instruments. It's the sounds.
But speaking of like Q's point,
Prince is also R&B. I think I feel
definitely
Prince
is
is more soulful.
But he
than
does
Mike.
rock and roll.
Prince
he
in
does
his latter
jazz.
years
He
is still
does,
more
like,
soulful than Mike, though.
Can we just get it?
I think he
Soulful?
always was. Yeah.
Mike became really a super pop star.
Yeah.
Prince still made records that spoke to the soul, in my opinion.
The thing about it is like Michael Jackson was more of the vessel that the songs were gotten out through. Michael Jackson wrote a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But Prince orchestrated everything you ever heard from him. He
But it
wrote
has
all the lyrics,
soul to
wrote
it.
the music. Like it was just
Like
they
Thriller-
give Michael Jackson the lyrics and he goes
I
in
would
the
wanna
booth
be an
and
artist
just
like
knocks
Prince.
it out the shit.
Right.
Prince is
Like if I'm not that type of
orchestrating
artist, I don't want to
everything.
be behind a booth.
Prince still has the soul. When I think of Thriller, Thriller is a pop record.
Of course.
Like I grew up to Thriller. I was a kid.
Of
I
course.
mean, and he has other albums like Invincible. That was more like an R&B kind of album too, and also
Definitely.
Another album.
But I'm
too.
saying when
I feel what you're saying.
when
I feel
you
what you're
think
saying.
of Prince, even with the pop records, they
Yeah.
still have soul to it.
Yeah.
It has a body. It has something that makes you feel.
Yeah.
Michael makes you feel too, but it's more like he's appealing to the world. Like to me,
Absolutely.
young Michael appealed to us more. Not like that. Am I separating? I'm just saying like R&B to me appeals to the soul. It's soul. Like that's why neo soul is a subcategory of R&B.
But it's still R&B.
It's still R&B. You're right.
Yeah. And that's why I mean.
But it has its own sound because neo soul is distinctive.
I get it.
It's not R&B. Typically, is the
You can make.
oh yeah.
You can make
that
babies
shit.
to neo soul, but you just
You
making
can.
love
Maxwell
to
has
neo soul.
making love to it. Maxwell has
R&B, you
I'm
fucking.
quite sure niggas have really made mad
fucking.
babies off of Maxwell.
That's true, of course. Fortunate to have.
It's soulful. But I'm saying Prince, Maxwell. I know
Well, that's
Prince
my
is
shit.
I know Prince has to be
Speaking
a
of
Maxwell.
Yeah.
You know,
I love Maxwell.
I know
Maxwell's
Maxwell
my
has
guy,
to be
man.
a Prince,
Maxwell,
a Prince fan.
Erica Badu, all of these people,
Time will be
Lauryn
the
Hill,
day.
all neo soul.
Yo.
But Prince is
Oh
above
yeah,
all
they
that.
say King.
Yeah.
I was about to say
But
I was
yeah.
about to say I put Eric over all of them if
Of
we really.
course.
But we said King, so we not even.
I mean, so moving forward from King of R&B, what's up with Ebro being an OG in his role on
oh yeah,
Kodak
yo.
Black? You were very opinionated on that. I
You know
was
why?
as well.
Because I'm ready in 2019 to
Yeah,
make
stomach.
a spot, to make a plight, or make a not
If
a
y'all don't
plight,
eat that pizza, kids can't go home with me. Or if you
To-
don't take that pizza.
to make strides toward being a part of the New York radio platform. I think that New York radio is disconnected from the culture, and I think that it needs newer, fresher talent. I think that people like Ebro and others, they kind of make people.
What she's saying
older
is get
people-
Raine on Hot 97,
You
people.
really need me. I'm saying that, and I'm not just saying. I'm saying it humbly. I'm saying that I'm connected. You know, like I'm from a certain era, but I speak for the culture. And if you speak for the culture, I feel that Ebro, as well as the Breakfast Club, they are disconnected from
What people
the
are listening
youth.
to.
And so, if you are really representing hip hop, you can't close the door on the youth. The youth is what moves the culture forward. So whether you like it or not, you should listen to it. And you should educate the youth from a standpoint of listening to the music. You can't start an interview saying, I don't really fuck with your music like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even really listen to that shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, we had you on the show.
He
That's
comes
how
off
Ebro
very
started.
condescending
But see,
to
that's
a lot of people,
he
and
does.
I don't like that shit.
And my thing is, if you're going to be old man Ebro, I'm cool with that. Be old man Ebro. Make your platform where artists feel like they have to be on your platform to, you know, to level up. Like, I need your platform. Back in the day, what he did, people try to compare it to Wendy and Star. Ebro is no Wendy.
I think he's trying to be that.
But he's
trying
no
to be
Wendy
that
or Star.
Charlemagne kind of like antagonist.
He's neither
on the show. He's
right.
not.
You know why?
Don't work.
Because be you. Like, if you don't fuck with them and that's your whole thing, at least you're in a journalistic environment.
Yeah.
The very least you can do, you don't have to be a journalist, but at least interviewing 101. I'm not gonna interview you and not listen to your shit.
Yeah, he's trying to condescend
Sidebar, let me
you.
plug,
that's
let me
mad.
plug
He's
that.
trying to
You know what I
please.
mean?
Yeah.
Like me personally, I interview
You shut the door on
I
him before you
interview
even let him
unknown
know.
artists all the time. But
Yeah.
what makes my interviews better than most is because I actually act like I give a fuck. I take the time to listen to your music. And I can say, oh, I like it or not like it. It's nothing wrong with him not liking it. But say why and educate. If you're the OG, if you're old man Ebro, educate. The problem with the Kodak interview is that he didn't start from a point of education.
Yep.
So you started from a point of negativity, and then you got into an ego thing. You know, you can't have someone on your show. Real talk. Kodak Black did not need to be on Hot 97
He
to
didn't.
be successful.
The funny shit
He
is that's
a-
crazy. I was surprised that he was on Hot 97.
Exactly. He
I was
is a
surprised.
very successful artist.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few of that wave that I fuck with. I think he actually is trying to be a dope lyricist. I think that he's actually rapping, you know, and he
I said
tries
the
to
same
put
thing.
depth into his music. You don't have to like it.
On
Don't come to me
God.
about no
But
hoe.
But the only right, but the only, you know, I don't have to like it personally, but I do like it. He's one of the few that I like, and I'm just saying that,
She called me
like it or
daddy,
not, you're
but I
supposed
ain't
to
her
start your
motherfucking
interview.
father.
You start your interview from that standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Don't start
Yeah.
the interview from like being like, I don't fuck with this nigga. You know.
Yeah, you
I
right.
think he's trying to do that shit for clicks, for ratings.
Exactly.
We're talking
So
about
it's-
that shit now
and
because
it's
it went that way.
disingenuous.
If Kodak goes up there and they just have a regular interview and he leaves, we're not talking about it now.
Yeah.
It don't get them.
You know
many clicks.
why? And
He's
that's my
going for that
point.
angle. He's
That's
trying
my
to
point.
Be that.
Niggas do not.
He's trying to
It
antagonize
made me
people.
think, and you're right. We don't watch Hot 97
Nope.
interviews.
We
B.
watch Breakfast
We
Club.
watch Breakfast,
He's
and
trying to
even
be
Breakfast Club,
Charlemagne.
and even Breakfast Club. Real talk. They gave a better interview of
Oh,
Kodak
of course
than.
they did. They even
but-
participated
but-
in this bullshit.
But
Everybody
but
was
Everybody with
that's
the
what
mask
they
on.
do.
But
So-
here's the but though. They are also disconnected.
Of course they
They
are.
are very comfortable being 40 and saying I don't listen to it.
Well,
Envy
no,
is a
I think
DJ.
sometimes I think Charlemagne might do the work.
I disagree.
No, he does not.
I
And
disagree.
hold up.
Go ahead.
Charlemagne has publicly said that he does not listen. When you're being paid to do that, that's your fucking job.
That's
So
real.
they
Go ahead.
they all home. Ebro, Charlemagne, Envy. I'm gonna speak about women in media separately
moment.
because that's where I feel like I need to be on that level because women in media, they act like they don't have a voice.
Mhm.
Angela Yee has experience. Angela Yee has the knowledge. Angela Yee does not voice her real opinion
She doesn't.
on that show. She does not
She
use
speaks
that
from-
show. She
From
speaks
what
as
the
a groupie.
anticipated female perspective.
Right.
Yep.
She
She does
does
come
not-
across as a groupie.
Angela Yee trumps Charlemagne, actually. Angela Yee knows more than Charlemagne about hip-hop, in my personal
She sure
opinion.
does. She's actually
Angela
probably
Yee
the
is
most
from the cloth
knowledgeable.
of the Wu-Tang. Angela Yee has been doing that type of journalism as a youngin'. She knows more than Charlemagne about hip-hop. Angela Yee does not talk about hip-hop. She always asks sex questions,
relationships, sex,
relationships, dick,
gossip. What's in
gossip,
pop culture?
dick. She doesn't talk about hip hop. And Angela Yee actually,
But that's
listens
the
to
role
music.
that I'm sure that she's encouraged to play as well. Now, like
She
it doesn't.
can
It's not a great
challenge
case.
more, and all women in hip hop do not do it. That's why I'm making a ploy for it. Same thing with Laura Stiles. Laura Stiles did not say shit in that interview. Yet in the post interview, she had so much to say. Laura Stiles, women in hip hop media are not using their voice, and a lot of times they know more than the men do. But they're getting paid, or I don't know what it is, but they're choosing not to actually
Be as
show.
vocal.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I think on Breakfast Club they all have roles. Like
Yeah.
it's all defined
Definitely.
roles. This
So that's-
person plays this. This
But
person does
that's
that.
corny.
But the
Angela Ye
yeah.
kind of does the real journalistic, you know,
The rumor
the
report
due
shit.
diligence. Yeah, she'll ask the questions. Charlamagne is supposed to be the antagonist, and Ebro.
And
he
he
actually
actually
he's just
sometimes
uneducated.
He's not, but he has
He's
improved
my least
over
favorite.
the years.
He's my least favorite.
He used to be
irritates
way
the
worse,
shit out of
to
me.
be honest. But
I agree.
over the years, he has improved.
Mad
But
ignorant.
for him to be a DJ and to be in the street, to be in the clubs, and to know that this is the music that's dominating the clubs, and you to fucking act like you don't listen to it is disrespectful to the culture. That's what I'm saying.
It's
we can't
some
make
of
it.
it
We
whack,
can't make
though,
it an 8.
and
Some of
then
it
they
is
don't have
whack.
to listen to it.
No,
Like,
but
I
say
agree
that.
with you,
but say
but
that
some
from
of
a
it
point
is
of
whack, though.
experience. Say
Like-
that from a point of listening to it. That's
Yeah.
more valuable.
Say
If
like
you
I
listen
listened to
music
that
and say,
shit and it didn't
was
catch me
whack.
because I listened,
And
but
I
don't say
played
like
it
I
in the
didn't
club,
listen to it.
It was popping.
Because
Or
you gotta
I played it in
give-
the
you
club
gotta
and
do
it was
the
whack.
But I
the
think
due
when they say
diligence.
shit like Lil Yachty and they be like, yo, I don't listen to
Lil
that shit, I think
Yachty
they
is the
heard
worst
it
out
because
of
they
all the
work.
new
That's what I'm
school.
saying. Like they work there. They hear the shit 1,000 times, but it's like, I don't listen to
You know
that
what I'm
shit,
basing
man.
it on? I'm basing it
not
on
downloading
Tekashi's
Lil
interview.
Yachty.
Tekashi dominated that interview, and it was disrespectful to me the fact that you had Tekashi, who's a #1 artist, who actually has decent music. Whether you like him or not, or whatever his whole thing is, the fact that even Hot 97, this is fucking hypocritical. You kept him from being a part of Summer Jam, and had the audacity to play his music the entire time. That's fucking crazy. He dominated
It
the
depends on why
culture.
they kept him from being a part of Summer Jam.
No,
though.
Ebro was a fucking hater. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I spoke on Ebro, because Ebro, he deals with the youth that don't. First of all, in his post interview, Ebro says, "I don't fuck with none of you new rappers." If that's your whole standpoint, do the due diligence from that standpoint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't have a 21-year-old rapper who really does not need your platform. You talking about you don't fuck with them, nigga? Your platform, niggas are only pressing play based on them.
Well,
No one fuck. Your interviews are ass.
nobody's listening to 97.1 right now.
They do
anyway.
not.
I
That's why
think
I was
I
supposed
think
to listen to 105.1.
I think it needs to be a middle ground between like the super hating of like Ebro and Charlamagne, and then the super dick riding of academics. Like it needs to be some sort of accountability.
It needs
for
to be
people
people
in the
representing
culture
the
that
culture,
really, that
yo.
really are listening, that
They need
really
new
are
blood.
being
They
objective,
need new blood.
and just not
And don't make
completely
it about
hating or
age.
completely
Make it
Because
about
right now it's
connection.
really about their it's really about their personal business, y'all. Like I listen to
No, Ebro
105.1
did his job.
more than anything else. Charlamagne promotes his books more than anything else.
He does. And then even
Like
that.
so for us to not
They
even
trying to
recognize
get
it,
money,
like,
fucking
man.
dropping
You
on
see what I'm saying?
mental
Like, that's where
illness.
he at.
Every conversation.
Like,
Nigga, shut the fuck
but
up.
like you
We've been
fuck people's
talking about
mental
that.
wellness up like on a daily.
Right.
Like last week, he was calling fat people out of their names. Like, so shut the fuck up.
it's
like, there's
hypocritical,
no credibility.
yo.
He can't give me about
They're
that.
not
Trying to get
credible.
money.
About his first one, he
Yeah.
can't give me about the second one. You ain't talking to me about my mental wellness.
I feel you.
I'm saying it's a disconnect. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can dig it.
And I support that. I agree.
Whether you like Kodak Black or not, you know.
On God.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a person who would be like, yeah, I can't listen to that kid because I see the reckless shit that they do
Pull
in the
up in
news
a
first
very
before
young
anything
God.
else. And even with that, I'm not responsible in recognizing that like black boys are demonized in all cultures. Like
think
all people make crazy mistakes and do dumb shit, but black boys are recognized more often for that shit. Sometimes I fall in the trap of saying like I don't support them before I do. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't listen to Kodak Black before. Because I was just like, who is this
did.
kid? And like, why
He
can't
has
I
a
like
bunch
that?
of hits. But
Did you call him a pickaninny?
That's what he looked like.
I mean, he plays to that.
It's
but
bad, yeah,
The
but,
reason
like-
why the whole Ebro thing was foul is because, and this is where people, it's two things I can't respect. I can't respect people saying, oh, why is the interviewer being, disrespected and not the person who has the rape charge? That's what when you brought that up earlier, I'm like, it's such a slippery slope with the rape charge, right? Because even men do it to men. So as a woman, a black woman at that, I always try to, when I hear a man attached with the rape charge, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I know that there are women by law, by nature, black men have been put in a space where you're accused of rape when you didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Right? So I give you that benefit of the doubt. I'm that woman. But it really bothers me when men have used this particular scenario to say, oh, he has a rape charge. My nigga, shut the fuck up. All year.
Now, if you're not
This is
coming with all
the year exactly. This is the Me Too movement era. This is the Me Too movement. This is the Me Too era.
Yes, it is.
A lot
So
of
you
men
gotta
have
come
been
correct.
quiet the entire time about Me Too, right? So now we're gonna use Kodak Black as, with him having the charge, as the case that we say that he needs to be the example of that. No, Ebro, no. What you did was, and even I did it wrongly, what Ebro did was very passive aggressive. So what he did was, he made you think he asked a question. He didn't ask a question. He made a statement. He said, we'd like to have you on the show, because it was bullshit. He didn't know how to really get at him. He wanted to get, and I know I've been there before, right? He wanted to get at him about the charge. But where that was whack was that you made a statement about sexual assault. So you just wanted to announce his charges because you didn't ask him a question. If you really gave a fuck about sexual assault, see what I would have did as a journalist, I would have came at the whole overall
environment
disrespect of women in hip hop.
Yeah.
Talk to him about how, because Kodak Black has said some very ignorant shit on camera about light-skinned women, dark-skinned women. Talk about that.
Oh, those are the comments that made me not say.
We don't get to like fuck him. Right. We don't get to the charge. We get to how you look at women. If you want to talk about sexual assault.
But then that speaks to his inability to do so, his incompetence.
Yeah, but highlight his incompetence. Don't show being.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's not.
That shows that he's not skilled.
I don't respect him.
To do that.
Right.
He's not skillful enough to like get to ask those questions because he wants.
But that's why Breakfast
Do y'all
Club,
think it wasn't his journalistic duty to ask the question though?
No, I think it is his journalistic duty to do it. But it's
Like,
just like Meek Mill, right? It was their responsibility to surface the fact that like, hey, like you're speaking out against like incarceration rates, but like you were just also like incarcerated. The way that you do it, like you giving a person an avenue to like speak their piece, like that matters.
I don't think Ebro cared or knew how to do that. That's why he came.
I don't think he had any intentions of doing it like that. He wanted to create a thing.
He
wanted Kodak
to sun
to get
him,
big.
yo.
Yeah.
He has a thing about these young dudes. I don't know what it is.
He came with an
but that's
agenda.
gonna be a thing.
He's old.
He's
mad.
See, niggas was comparing him to Star and Wendy, right?
Yeah.
I got into a debate with an industry dude on Twitter, right? He's telling me that, he's telling me all this shit. And I brought up Wendy because Wendy, see, the difference is the Hot 97 platform outside of Flex is not a platform that artists feel like. I feel like Kodak Black went there because he had to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's different when you create a platform for artists to feel like they have to be there. I've been there before. I've interviewed artists that felt like they were forced to be there, and I earned the respect of the artist because I create an environment that says that I care about your music. Yeah. I actually researched you. You know what I'm saying? But some artists, they'll sit there like, I don't fucking want to be here.
Until they recognize that you,
Right. Oh, you know that?
Okay, so let's have a dialogue. Because they be waiting for somebody to be trying to play.
Right. And that connection makes them feel more comfortable to give you more information. And it's not like a tactic. It's just real life. Yeah. I can't have you on my show and be like, oh, so what the fuck music you got going on?
But unfortunately, at the point that Ebro's at,
his
they
ego,
get more clicks.
His
if
ego.
This happens, if there's a good interview with Kodak and he's happy and nobody's clicking it, nobody's talking about it.
Right, but I'm saying that
Kodak
his platform is not necessary. The difference between Wendy was that we knew back in the day when you went on Wendy's platform, you knew that you would be addressed about bullshit you did in your life.
Yep.
You knew that, and niggas still went on there because they wanted that conversation. Niggas had death threats on Wendy. Wendy was dodging, mad people. Mad people tried to like duff Wendy out.
At that time, it was a little bit different with the gatekeepers though, because like there wasn't the social media platform that
created access to the information.
Yeah, like
Kodak could be successful without Hot 97. And during Wendy's time, your shit wasn't on Hot 97. You were not being you're not being successful. So that's why people's like, fuck it, I gotta go. Now that she's pulling that shit.
But I'm saying that
nobody goes on the show now.
No, I'm saying that if you're gonna do that tactic of poking and prodding into people's business, it has to be a respected platform where people know that this is
That
what
you're
you
credible
do.
and this is
You're
the
credible.
thing that you do. You
and
can't
that
just decide to wake up one day and be like, I don't like this nigga. I'm gonna go in on
right,
his music.
and I'm still going to come to your platform because I know what it is.
Yep.
Some artists really wanted the challenge. Like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going on Wendy.
People know what to expect when they go on the Breakfast Club.
Ebro is not
Because the
that.
Breakfast Club is about that life. Like, Charlamagne is gonna be like, oh, you got a ball spot. Like, do niggas see that you have a ball spot? Like, that's the type of nigga that he
Ebro
is.
Ebro has not
He's
had
not that person.
He has
I
not
think
That's
created
not the
that.
ammo behind his.
I think if you do your due diligence, you know Ebro's coming like that with that angle.
No,
if
I'm
I was
saying
Kodak,
that we
I
don't
would've
want-
known.
But I don't
no,
pay
no.
attention to him
No,
that
no.
much enough
I
to
would've
know.
known.
So.
No, I'm not even
I'd have
saying
been
that.
like,
I'm
yeah,
saying
bro.
that
105,
we
1
fuck
if the
with
radio.
it.
He's
As the-
super
The
condescending.
culture don't listen to Ebro's interviews
they
like
don't.
that.
They
That's what I was
don't.
trying to say, and it made me think. I was arguing with an industry dude who was actually co-signing Ebro. Right? He's like, I don't care, man. You know, these new niggas, these young niggas have no respect. And then I want to talk about that too, about the culture.
Speaking about KOD, like the way that J. Cole addressed that was nice. Sorry, I listened to the album again, but go ahead.
Right.
KOD album's popping.
He brought that up, and I was surprised. I'm like, yo, it's a lot of people. It made me open my eyes. A lot of people are actually co-signing Ebro. You know, so Hot 97 has their core following, right? So people are calling in like, oh no, you wasn't wrong. He was wrong. I don't care what nobody says. And Rosenberg actually is the only one that had some credibility to say like, no, you were wrong. You know, we had a right to ask the question, but he didn't ask a question.
He was coming at him. He was
That's my
attacking
thing.
him.
But
He was attacking
you
him.
didn't create a platform
21.
that's connected that the culture cares about,
Not to be
where
confused
we
with
can
Savage.
where we actually watch your interviews and we care about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, nobody
you don't
cares
have
about
that connection, my dude. You son this dude primarily because he's young.
Yep.
I don't feel like if Fab were the one on the show, he would have asked about the case.
Nah, because he fucks with Fab. Fab is from his era.
He would not
Fab
have
is
done
from,
it.
You know,
Ain't
And Fab probably
You know.
would have like fucked him up or like made him feel threatened.
Nah, he wanted Kodak fucking him up.
But
Plays
you
in
know
the
what?
Ebro's pockets, big. Heavy.
Charlamagne and
He would have called the
Envy
cops.
are on the show saying, do we have to talk about this? That's the patriarchy I'm speaking to. Do we have to speak about Fab? Why the fuck don't you have to speak about it? He's a prominent person in hip hop. You have to speak about it.
Nah, you got
Not to digress, I'm just saying that's what I'm saying goes on where it's not fair. It's like, how you don't speak? They publicly, it's on record. You can go see it. They publicly say, do we have to speak about Nas? Do we have to speak about Fab? Why don't you have to speak about it?
But Charlamagne is conflicted like from jump, right? That man is a conflicted man. That's why he said he feels as though he's justified in saying the things that he says and doesn't understand the responsibility behind it. And like if I ever get the opportunity to sit down with him, like I swear I would have a moment of enlightenment with him because like I listen to him. He's mad ignorant. He's mad intelligent.
Extra flavor.
Or he's learned from his experiences. He's grown, but he still does a lot of shit that's fucked up.
I think that's his angle, and he's kind of
Of
like
course.
when he came in with Wendy, and that was their kind of whole angle.
That was
and
their thing.
That's what's worked for him, and he's fucking
And it's that
sticking
shit
with
that's
it.
about to take him down because isn't that where the rape charge come from? Because if I'm not mistaken, like the specifics of that is like it has something to do with Wendy's husband. If I'm not mistaken.
What?
Charlamagne's rape charge
No,
has
no,
something
no.
to do with Wendy Williams' husband?
Forgive me.
Yeah,
I might be
forgive-
I
Nah,
might be overstepping.
You're not forgiving?
Well,
Nah.
okay, so never mind.
No.
Nah, something
That's
that his
separate.
girl-
However, he
Charlamagne's
made a
rape
comment
charge
about-
happened in South Carolina when
Oh,
he was
What?
21.
Got it. But there's a rape
what are you
situation
talking
that
about,
doesn't
man?
involve the husband,
No.
doesn't it?
It does, and she had to settle.
Okay. I know I'm not making shit up.
Her
There's
husband's a
something that
piece of shit.
exists.
Sorry.
There's something that exists
out
with him
there.
and that man in a
He has-
hotel with a woman.
He was doing a lot of crazy shit to interns.
Yeah.
That came out.
Okay.
But yeah, something else.
So I mean,
Well, my bad.
So I
Charlamagne,
feel
well, if
like-
you weren't in that shit, then I wouldn't have to speak up on it.
I
now,
feel like
would I?
this episode we pretty much delved into the realm of men, you know, not. I don't need chasers, but okay.
It kinda it tastes better.
I'm good. I feel you. But damn, that means I gotta change the whole cover photo. I thought we was gonna talk about Cyntoia
Well, we
Brown.
can still spend some time talking about
I mean,
Cyntoia.
but it wasn't a majority.
7?
What happened?
It's
Yeah, we here
6:45
for the
now.
7. For the
Let's
7.
talk about Cyntoia now.
Yeah, so we got 15. So Cyntoia Brown. So as far as that goes,
What made you want to talk about Cyntoia? Is it because it was made popular again? Because this has been a case that's existed for quite some time.
you see what you tried to do there, right?
Trying to set you up. Trying to Ebro your
Yeah,
shit
you're trying to
just
Ebro
now.
my shit, right?
Tryna Ebro
Oh,
your
because
shit
it's
just
popular now. Yo, y'all ain't shit, man. I tell y'all, man.
Trying to set you up. Damn, bro. That's fucked
First
up.
off, no, actually, nah.
That wasn't the intent.
The
y'all.
thing is, the fact that this woman has been behind bars for this long, and the fact that nothing has been put to the forefront in regards to giving her clemency up until now, even though the facts are there. I just think our justice system is so fucked up, and it made me actually what triggered it was also watching the Sandra Bland documentary on HBO, and it just broke my heart because it's like I hate watching that shit because it's almost like when I watched the movie
It's
Detroit.
disheartening.
Yeah,
Or
and it makes me
13 or-
and it's
Oh,
like
I didn't watch Detroit
and then
for
you
that
think
reason.
like white people are just like but then it's like no, it isn't like that. So I go through that phase, but it just made me think like we have to reform, we have to change our justice system because for what's happening to this young lady, it's a shame.
And she's not eligible
And she's not.
for parole until she's about 70, right? Or after, like beyond the age of 70, and she's been in jail since she's been 16.
Yeah, and I know right now she's I think for clemency
She's up for clemency
she's
again.
up for clemency.
Yep, and I think like how frequently can you make an appeal for clemency?
I'm not sure.
You also
I think
have
it's
to
like once every
address that
8 years
there's
or
a
some
group of men who have a train of thought that.
What's the train of thought?
There's a
I'm
reason
s-
why she's still
I'm
behind
only
bars.
I'm seeing. I haven't posted about this since it happened. Since I first heard about it, like 2 years ago. But I'm seeing different people post about it, and they're like,
When did you first hear about it?
I think like 2 years ago.
Sorry, I was just asking.
Oh.
Why are you asking that?
Hmm?
Why are you asking that?
I was just wondering.
Why are you wondering?
I'm in crime law and justice.
I can't hear
right?
you.
I majored in crime law and justice, and I'm
Okay.
just eager to know when certain things like catch people's attention. That's all.
Oh, so you're okay. Go ahead.
That's
I'm
all.
not even gonna entertain you.
But
I'm sorry, Raine.
I'm seeing people post about it, and I saw like two different people, both men and women, post about men that are out there like, oh, I think people are losing sight of the fact that she killed a man.
At 16,
At
after being
16.
picked up, after being like drugged and raped
And raped.
and pimped out at 16 years old.
Yeah. So there are a group of men that feel like, so what? She killed a man, and so she deserves what she deserves.
I wonder if it were their daughters, how they would feel. That's all I say. And what's interesting is that about 15% of women who are incarcerated are in jail for violent crimes, and it is like it's common or it's commonly
true.
accepted that women who are in jail for violent crimes, it's often like a violent crime that stems from, I don't know what percentage because I didn't do my due diligence in that avenue, but there's a large percentage of those people that are in jail because of like the defense around self-defense. Like, and what I want to see is like what percentage of those women were incarcerated at like young ages, such as 15 and 16 and things of that nature, because there are a lot of women who are in these types of predicaments. You know what I mean? And my big thing is like Cyntoia Brown's case is a big deal, but there's so many other women who are in the same situation. And like, it's great when one person is granted clemency, but if that doesn't set a precedent for like releasing other women who have the same circumstances, if the precedent isn't created around men who are incarcerated for like an extensive amount of years for small marijuana crimes, like shit like that, that's when we really start making an impact. Like, don't grant clemency for one person. Like,
To
that's
answer
cute.
your question, you want us to know that the amount of years is 10 years.
10 years for what?
10 years to claim
Every
Clemency,
every
right?
10
That's
years
what
for
I thought.
clemency.
8 to 10. Yep.
I
I
don't
just
know.
think her case appeals. I mean, to the heart. If you
Of
don't,
course.
If you don't empathize with it, then
Rihanna actually, she's been on record,
But that's why people think
advocating
it's more
for-
popular again. But my thing is, like,
I didn't
people
know-
need to be consistent.
I didn't
about
know from Rihanna
that existed before.
I didn't.
No, she's just saying
Oh.
that the case actually. I don't know when I first heard about it, but I did speak on it. I think like 2 years ago.
I heard about it a couple years back.
Right. It's just it's popular now because she's up for clemency.
And because she's up for clemency, and because Rihanna said something about it the other day.
Not
I
only
just
that,
found
but
that
I
out
think people
today.
are fighting for
Thank you.
her.
But
to
her
get
clemency appeal was in May. Sorry, that's the
Oh.
thing that I want to.
It
if I'm
was
not mistaken,
in May, or it's coming
Yeah.
up.
if I'm not mistaken, she like when you're going up for clemency, I feel like you have like it happens in two waves. I feel like you make a statement. Or your initial address for like applying for it, and then you go in front. So people should have been building the hype when she like was first up for it, because now she's just going into like you really have to be intentional about doing stuff like this. You don't just do it right before the hearing, because people need time.
When is
to,
the
like,
hearing though?
I think it's coming up. I don't know the actual date.
Next year.
Let me see actually.
Okay.
But my thing is like there are a lot of women, there are a lot of men of color who there are a lot of people of color who are incarcerated because of crimes that like that happened due to a matter of circumstances where, like, if, like, to be honest, like, if slavery didn't exist, these things might not happen. And I know that that's a very extreme statement, but I firmly, wholeheartedly believe
It's a
that.
real one.
So when we only make that address for one person, because, like, oh, Rihanna spoke up about Cyntoia, like, that's cute, but there are a lot of motherfuckers. I don't mean to call them MFers. Like, I think about the documentary that Monique did a couple of years ago when she went into the prison and kind of examined, like, why all those women in there. And a lot of women in there were for violent crimes against, like, men, like, that they were connected to, whether or not it be their family or, like, their husbands and things of that nature.
I just brought up Rihanna because I just found that out today.
Say that again?
I just brought up Rihanna because I just found that out.
Oh, okay.
Today.
I didn't know if Cyntoia Brown's story stuck out to you. But the reality is, like, the reason why it stuck out to you 2 days ago is because Rihanna made a statement about it a couple of days ago. And that's just the reality, because it's been something that's been a big deal for, like, the past couple of years.
You didn't know it
for
stuck
years
out
and
to
years
me.
and years.
Like, I don't have
Since
a heart.
2004. That's when I knew about Cyntoia, just saying.
Well, I'm just saying. What triggered it was watching the documentary by Sandra Bland, which you have not seen. If you have not seen it, I recommend you check it out.
You said
It's
HBO.
on HBO on demand. Check it out. If you don't have on demand, Fire Stick, whatever.
Or find it somewhere.
Find it somehow, please. You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about it, really. I didn't see it, but I definitely did promote it.
So I did appreciate, you know, because me, I love documentaries, and me actually directing a documentary, Hip Hop No Metaphors.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciated the fact that they told pretty much two stories from different perspectives. However, they didn't try to paint her as like this martyr, because I really thought that was going to be their angle. However, they had the perspective.
Why would they paint her as a martyr, though?
I don't know, because you have these documentaries, and sometimes they just don't do the story and the initial story justice. So I can appreciate HBO for that. Watching it, which I wasn't really privy to. She had a strong presence on social media.
Who's Sandra Bland?
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of that.
Well, yeah, that's why she was being held accountable for the gay stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't really, and that spoke to me, because it's like
they knew who she was when they killed her, in my opinion.
And that's what I thought at the end of that documentary.
Oh, you didn't know that when she died?
No, I wasn't aware of that. And so watching this, and that's why I was so eager to watch this, because I was just under the impression that she was just this lady that who, you know, she was arrested, and then they tried to like hide, you know what I'm saying, her. Or cover up her murder or her being killed. Yeah. Like with the whole
police look all your shit
what you
up
did was
when you
extremely
get locked.
rude.
So trust me.
I'm so sorry. You're right.
So
police look all your shit up when you get locked. So
yeah.
if one of us get locked
it's
up,
like, oh,
they're gonna know we do unpopular opinions. They're gonna be all on your shit.
My mother used to say. My mother used to be so scared.
That's something I knew of Rip. They stopped her knowing who she was.
Yeah, and the fact that for you know
they stopped her on purpose.
They tried to fucking say that she committed suicide.
Yeah.
And that what provoked her to commit suicide was the marijuana in her system.
Yeah, right. But
I
again,
never heard that
you
weed.
can pull that
what
shit.
Cat Williams say? Weed makes you what? Hungry, happy, sleepy?
Yeah.
Sleepy, hungry, happy,
sleepy.
But if you take 13 aspirin, that will kill you?
Yeah, and then the thing is, they also discovered that the garbage bag that she supposedly used to hang herself had no residuals of her DNA on that. You know what I mean?
You surprised, McCray?
No, but
you can hang
I mean, the
body
thing was
with a fucking garbage bag.
But the thing was, this is new to me.
Fucking
without
garbage
it breaking?
bags is these? Yeah, what fucking garbage bags is these, man?
All of these things, like
I can buy some of them shits.
Like watching it, I'm just learning all of these new things.
Yeah, bullshit
and
police work.
Exactly, and also the fact that when she died, they tried to say that she hung herself. She committed suicide because of the fact that nobody was willing to come to her defense to pay for her bail bond, and whatever the case is.
Bullshit.
And also the autopsy showed that she had like these bruises on her back, meaning like she was pinned down.
Of course. And police know where to hit you for the bruises not to show up in regular pictures. You know, they're not gonna hit you in your face. They're not gonna hit you. They're gonna hit you in your back and you know, your sides, your ribs and shit.
What got to me too was that when her mom spoke and she said, "I know my daughter." And then that kind of spoke to me because a mom knows their child. And the fact that she was like, I know that she spoke up. I know that she didn't keep her mouth shut, but that in no regard means that you deserve to take my
that you
child's
deserve
life.
to die.
And that just had me in my feelings, and I was just like, wow. And then that's what made me speak on the Cyntoia Brown and wanted to pretty much said, like, I hope she gets free because
I think she should get free
I
and
think
get
so,
help.
too.
She needs therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's getting
Probably
therapy in
been getting
jail.
therapy. They said
Definitely.
she's a model prisoner.
Oh, okay.
They said that she's a model prisoner.
She
Yeah.
doesn't deserve 51
she
years.
doesn't
though.
for that.
I mean,
no.
For a
if
decision
if
like
Jacob,
made when your brain wasn't developed after you were like sexually assaulted, brutalized by multiple men. They said
that's a
that days
crime of
before
passion.
that happened. They said days before that happened, she was drugged and raped back to back by multiple men. What's
That's
the
a
name
crime
of
of
what was the
passion
name
to
of the
me.
pimp? Cutthroat. Come on. Like, this world is evil. The world is evil. I have no patience for it.
You
I just
ain't
kind of
never
want to go
lie.
and buy my own island. If Antigua would allow me to buy the island and just allow me to, like,
If
cast
you get
out
enough
those.
money, you could make your own shit. You could build one.
I'm working on that.
But move,
That's the goal.
You and me both.
but
That's
moving
the goal.
moving into that positive direction, we just hope that she gets free and gets the clemency.
Yeah, I mean,
and gets granted
especially
clemency.
when we I have to mention this case. I
Yeah.
posted yesterday, especially when we
Oh,
have people
shit.
like what's his name? Looking it up, Jacob.
The white boy swimming dude.
Gene
Yeah, what's
Proheimer
his-
Smith.
The one who was the president
Jacob
of the university.
Anderson, the one who's a frat boy. Essentially, he's the president of a frat, and he violently raped and brutalized a woman. He took her virginity, actually, and he left her for
And
dead.
brutalized her in multiple ways.
Yes, he brutalized her multiple ways. He raped her multiple ways, and he received probation. Like
Just like-
Cyntoia
but
Brown,
Trump
essentially
is president,
off,
and he was
off
talking
his,
about grabbing
Yeah.
people by the
Right.
vagina. So, like, hey.
America.
I mean, but essentially, Cyntoia Brown, she offed the likes of him.
Mhm.
You know, she killed a predator, and so
And she ended up
he's
in
a
jail.
predator. When,
Yeah.
Right, and when you hear this victim speak about what he did to her,
Mhm.
the fact that this judge is like very like I don't know how judges like. This is why we need more, not just more black people. We just need more people, more sound people
Yeah.
in these positions.
More black people. You right.
But
Don't
black,
don't
but
hide
I don't
it.
know that the victim was black. I hope she wasn't, because this will say volume. We don't know the victim if she's black or white. I'm assuming she's
But
white.
regardless, black people have been through so much shit where they're able to empathize with many different people's
Empathy
stories.
is necessary, and I find that empathy is not
not
used.
common in human
It's not
experience.
prominent. It's not used.
not.
Empathy. I use empathy in everything that I do. Unfortunately, I do. Like, as much as I get accused of certain things, I always empathize with people. I always take the time
Yeah.
to put myself. Yeah, exactly. I try to put myself in your position. And if you're a fucking judge that can actually feel confident with
That decision?
granting with that decision, there's
Probation?
a perfect place in hell for you. I don't know this judge's name, but he deserves hell, man, for
It's
doing
probably a
that.
white man. Just like
I mean, we
you
know
could
it's a
have
good old
white
boy
man,
network.
yeah,
We know,
like,
and
you know, that's that
honestly,
shit is
a woman spoke to me about this too. I do think that this judge is probably a sexual predator.
I mean, judges, unfortunately, they're usually like older white gentlemen who are usually stuck
That
in
co-sign,
that
right?
sorta-
They're stuck
yeah,
in that,
Like,
and it goes with pedophilia. I think that
They
the
all deserve to go
country
in a
has
concentration
very
camp.
poor rules on pedophiles and very poor rules on rapists.
Yeah.
Only if the rapist is black is when we have these extreme laws for black men who rape.
Yeah.
Rape
course.
is terrible as a
Yeah.
woman, and I want to just bring this up because this always comes up, and I'm sorry I spoke about this before, but I have to say this. And it goes with the whole Kodak Black thing as well. Yes, we know Kodak Black has charges of rape on him. You know,
is that what it is though?
It
'Cause
is
I
a rape
don't know
charge.
this.
It's a rape
so it's
charge.
like forcibly.
But if I'm not
And I read
mistaken,
details.
wasn't he younger when
Statutory.
it happened as well? And isn't he 21 now?
It's statutory
Wasn't it
rape
He's
or
21
it's actual
now.
rape.
he's 21. It's not statutory. It's rape
actual,
though.
like he raped a woman.
She accused him of rape. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
that he
yeah,
raped.
yeah.
And that's the whole
let's- yeah,
thing.
let's not, of course.
I really hate this when this comes up because I just feel like for the type of woman that I am, it doesn't mean that I think I'm right, but I really hate when men try to speak to me about rape. I'm a very conscious woman that's in tune. So I hate when I speak on a principle of a situation and I'm being attacked to say, how are you defending a rapist?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to let all these men know there's not a goddamn thing that a man can tell me about rape. I've said this before. Men cannot speak to rape with women unless they've been raped. A woman who has not been raped can speak on rape because women every day are in danger of being violated. That's why we're able to speak on it. So please stop coming with this narrative of how are you defending a rapist? Please shut up with that. You cannot tell a woman you can't talk to women about rape. Women who have not been raped know what it feels like to be violated.
Yeah.
I said it on the show before. You guys don't know the experience of having men just even brush up on you, violate your space, invade your space. It's the closest thing to it. I can speak on.
It seem like you're out of pocket.
Right.
When, like, you don't.
It's very out of pocket to even put that on a woman to say you're defending a rapist. I would never defend a rapist, but I can speak for Kodak Black and just saying that he has a charge.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he did. I read the details though. So the details imply that it's kind of crazy. But me, based on the interview, I'm bringing it back to that because it's just about rape. You know what I'm saying? Based on the interview, I felt like even with that case, he was in a different space. He purposely moved to a different place to be in a different space. He's from Florida, first of all. I don't know if y'all know about black people from Florida, but there's stereotypes. It's a lot going on with black people from the hoods of Florida. It's a lot going on with them.
A lot of them are Caribbean, period.
Florida's Florida.
I mean,
population of people.
It's a lot going on. Yeah, it's a lot going on. All I'm saying that.
Also a whole rack of people from the Dominican Republic, so there's that like Hispanic attention.
And he's in tune with God. So I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that this is a man who's trying to change his life at 21 years old. He grew up in a certain environment where he was praised for doing bad shit, which is what he said. Bringing it back to Jacob Anderson, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, 2018, the Me Too era, we're allowing a man who we know violently raped and brutalized a woman to get off on probation.
But I think with Kodak Black, it would have served in his better interest to speak out against
right, and he would have. Oh,
oops, my bad.
He would have spoken
lazy.
on it had he been given an environment to speak on it.
Yeah.
Ebro didn't. Ebro.
Maybe he wasn't prepared for it, but regardless, the public is going to look at it like
he wasn't
taught.
ready. But he's 21. I'm not giving him a pass, but he wasn't given the PR that says, "Hey, still answer the question."
You have to prepare for this, because the shit technically happened 2 years ago.
Because
so
he had a weapon. Oh no, he bit her or something like that. Apparently.
Okay, Hannibal.
I'm just saying. I read the case. I don't think that Ebro even did the due diligence. Ebro didn't even read the case.
So we just. I just hope. Yeah, I just hope that.
I hope he didn't do that.
Yeah, because he was gonna say something that was mad suspect.
So let's
what were you gonna say? Brief. Wait, hold up.
Oh,
what were you gonna say?
Don't do it.
Biting is a weapon.
Okay.
No, but I think what they were saying, I think it was just a statement of a fact. I don't think they were saying it was a weapon. They were just saying
I've only consensually bitten. If it's not consensual, you bite somebody.
But if you only relegated
that's whack to get bitten if you don't want to get bitten.
You're right.
So we
ain't talk about top 5.
We didn't talk about top 5. We didn't do the art of sliding the DM, but real quick, I slid in Chrisette Michelle's DM.
Did she respond back?
She did not respond back. So ball is in your court.
Respond back with Chrisette.
Word.
Unpopular opinions.
You playing?
Yeah, it's all good though.
Respond.
But oh man, we can't even talk about the kid.
Who?
One more minute. So real quick though, I had one of my former students come up to me like, Mr. McCray, you know this joint, you know this person? It's Carnegie Kid. Monday night freestyle mixtape.
It's lit.
So I'm like, what? And then he just started rapping.
It's lit.
Oh, shit. He did his rap.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. But
you know what?
You know what? If you don't mind,
at 11 o'clock, B.
Yeah. So
and if you wouldn't mind, I would love if you come and talk to that kid
y'all.
because he's going through some tough shit right now. So it'd be really nice if you come and talk to him.
Hell yeah, I will.
That'd be dope. So
that's dope. I'm coming
he's
up.
A good kid.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm coming up. We organizing that, bro.
Yeah,
coming up to the school. I got Carnegie Kid T-shirt for you. All that, bro. We lit.
Yeah, man. So it's episode 15, Unpopular Opinions.
Episode 15.
Episode 15.
Yeah.
It's all love. Everything is love.
I can't wait to hear this title. Shout out to McCray for the dope ass the genius titles that
for
he
real,
comes
he's
up with.
been. Even though the last time you were like that was mad, that was a lot of bullying.
The titles and the cover art are pretty dope, man.
It was a lot of bullying.
We will submit We will salute you.
I was
for
like,
it, though.
shit. I'm just gonna wear jeans and a sweater today.
Yeah.
I can't
Appreciate
do what I want.
Appreciate it.
I'm be judged.
I ain't gonna front. I was looking forward to the showdown with Raine today, so I was ready. You know, but the
And
funny,
I bodied you.
You did not.
I was hyped as I
McCray, you
usually
just choose
am.
not to
50
concede.
body.
The
Nor
reason
you
why-
don't
the
speak
reason
against
why-
her until you concede. So
Hold
you,
up, and then we gotta go.
Raine
But the
actually does
reason
win.
why I say I win debates is because I prove my point.
You do.
And I break
And you
down an
don't.
argument. And I
You
want to
don't.
go on Unpopular
And she's
Opinions
she's looking on the
podcast. I want
camera.
to say this right now. It's
You
a
cannot
challenge.
give me any advice. You
Or
cannot
I
give
can
me
give you
any
all the
advice.
advice.
No, you
In
can't.
2019, I'm challenging, any woman in hip hop
Oh.
out there who has the passion that I do, that you're speaking on these topics.
Anybody.
I'm challenging all y'all, not only women, everybody. Either come
Everybody.
on this show or let's do it in 2019, man. This is what it is. I'm making my official raid campaign for a place in hip hop media on a different, on a higher level, man.
Word.
I'm challenging all y'all. Come on this show and debate. Let's debate hip hop. Let's debate
I'm down for that.
pop culture. Let's debate all topics. And I want y'all to know, debating 101. Prove your fucking point, man. And I'm out.
She ain't.
I think we gotta start with some questions on IG, yo.
She ain't body nobody. We out.
She did body you.
Concede to
She
loss.
bodied you.